been talking to myself again, but it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the...
Hello everyone. What's that? That's not the right intro. This is the right intro. Welcome to Loaded NUFC Matters. Hello and welcome wherever you may be today, whether you're at home watching, getting ready for the game, whether you're in the pub, or whether you're on your way to the match or sitting in your seat in St. James's Park. The fans are back, and so are we. Well, a few of us anyway. I'm not going to do this alone tonight. I'm going to bring on a few people to help me. Here's Chris A, here's Aloid, and here's Chris Hall. Welcome, guys.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
You're on mute, Chris H.
Tell you what, you can tell I've been out the loop, can't you?
Yeah.
Tell I've been out the loop, boys. Sorry about that. Great to be back.
Welcome, guys. First of all, I'm going to give I'm going to read the odds actually, and just bear with me one sec. Hey, there's another little video. You're getting all the little videos. So here's the tune tipster. Okay, and I better do this now or else I'll forget. Okay, this comes from Joe. A newsflash. Newcastle United are favourites to win a football match. The country's 17th best team are just under evens to win the match. The draw at 3-1 and the informed Blades are 7-2. If you fancy the Mags to win 2-1, you can get that at 9-1, which seems reasonable. 1-1 is 7-1, and the Blades to steal a 1-0 is at 14s. If you fancy a goal fest in front of the 10,000, over 2.5 match goals is 8-11. Carl and Gale, again, favourites, even though they're not playing, to score for some reason. Joe and Miggy more likely at 7-1, and you can double your money on ASM to score anytime. The goal scoring legend, that is Emil Kraft, is 9-1 if you fancy him rising like a salmon again. Not much value in the special tonight, 8-11 for Newcastle to score in the first half, and 7-2 a penalty. I'll be sticking my mixed bet on for the food bag, and I'll share this on Twitter. Enjoy the game, never chase your losses. And that comes from Joe, the tune tipster. Cheers, Joe. So, lads, I want to say hello to you guys first. Thanks for joining. And I think we'll just have a quick look at the team, and then we have a message from Steve as well to go through, because both Steve and Holly are at the ground tonight. So here's a little picture from Steve first of the ground. Teams are getting ready for the match. That's class. Where he's sitting.
Class.
Nice picture from Steve. And Holly is up in the nosebleeds in the away end, and I did threaten to paint her stripes red and white, but I don't think she'd ever talk to me again if I did that. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for the message from Steve, and then we can get straight into the teams, lads. So here's our Steve.
Newcastle United versus Sheffield United, and there you are, guys. Just a little glimpse of what's going on. Not as busy as it normally would be. There's a strawberry. Nice sunny night though for it, and I hope you all have a great time on Match Day Live. Missing the Match Day Live crowd. Big shout out to everybody presenting tonight, and big shout out to Daz for taking the reins, and also a big thank you to everybody watching again tonight. If I can get any signal inside the ground, then I will stick something out later on. But take care, guys. Enjoy the match.
Cheers, Steve.
Top man, Steve.
Boss man.
Yeah. It makes us jealous. So let's look at our team and we'll go through it. Chris, here's the team. What do you make of Chris A?
Well, I first I want to say that isn't it so Newcastle to have the odds for the goal scorers be two guys that are not even in the first 11.
Exactly.
To have Carroll and Gale be our odds-on scorers tonight, and they're on the bench. I do hope that Carroll gets a chance in what could be his last ever home appearance for the Toon on Tyneside. That'd be class, and it would be great if he could get a late goal. But yeah, it's pretty much a box standard lineup for me. Both the first 11 and the bench. I would have liked to have seen Bruce be a little more experimentative with the lineup and give some of the young lads a chance, because we're safe. We're facing two relegated squads. So what's a better chance to give like Elliot Anderson or the other young lads? You've got both the Longstaffs on the bench, but put Matty Longstaff in the starting lineup. Give John Shelby a rest, or Matt Ritchie, even though I like Ritchie. So there's nothing really to complain about in the lineup. It's a strong lineup, but I would like to have seen the youngsters get a start in there. So just disappointed about that. But this lineup is clearly strong enough to send Sheffield home on the down. But just disappointed that we didn't be a little more creative with this lineup.
Cheers, Chris. Chris H, we'll go to you next. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, do you know what, mate? There's no surprises in that lineup, is there? I think it's probably the lineup that he was going to stick with. I understand why, but I echo what Chris A said. I think it would have been maybe nice to be a little bit more experimental. Maybe we'll see a change in formation. I doubt it based on what I'm looking at, but you never know. But for me, I can't even remember feeling this confident. I feel absolutely confident that we're going to get a good result tonight. And I actually fancy us to score 3 or 4. I'm really surprised, following the tipster one there, when he said the odds were just under evens. I couldn't believe that. I've just checked there in the 10 to 11, which I think is crazy. All right, we're at home to Sheffield United. We've got nothing to play for. They've got nothing to play for. But they've just had a fantastic result at Goodison Park. So, for that, the odds on them getting back-to-back wins away from home is highly unlikely, and that's why I'm so confident that we're gonna do the business tonight. I think we comfortably see them off. I think the biggest one for me, and the one that I'll be looking out for tonight, is St. Maximin. Given his comments today on TalkSport, so I'm keen to see how St. Maximin plays. I hope that from a selfish point of view, that he obviously does want to stay. I know he loves the club, he loves the fans, but even if he is trying to put himself in the shop window, I'm expecting a big performance from him today, because I think all eyes will be on him. I'm just feeling really good about the game. Obviously, it was really nice to see that video from Steve. It's nice, and obviously seeing Holly back on the stadium, that's really good, and it's great, for fans to be able to be in there, and I am extremely jealous. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the match tonight. And the last thing I want to say, which Chris also mentions, I really hope Andy Carroll gets on the pitch tonight. Potentially it's his last game at St. James's Park, and I think he's been used very sparingly, for this season especially, and perhaps unjustly as well, because in the cameos that I've seen him playing, I thought he's done really well. And to just completely freeze him out like Bruce has, I don't agree with it. I know that not everybody's a big, massive fan of Carroll, but for me, I still feel like he could do a job. And certainly if the takeover hasn't gone through by the start of next season, I wouldn't mind seeing Carroll still in the squad. I really don't see the problem. He's on a pay-as-you-play deal. And everybody, I'm sure, will acknowledge a fit and ready to go Andy Carroll, who wants to play for Newcastle, is a danger. I don't care who the defence is. Nobody likes playing against Andy Carroll. So for me, I'd rather Andy Carroll on the bench than Dwight Gale, for example, who clearly doesn't really fancy being here. So I'd like to see Andy Carroll get on, and let's see how we get on.
Oh, you do love Andy Carroll, Chris.
I love him, mate. I honestly, I don't get all the hate towards him. I mean, when he left, I was devastated, absolutely devastated. But even now, if you look back at the cameos that he's come on, he's turned the game. So I don't see why people are saying, "Oh, he's done, his legs are shot." I don't want him starting week in, week out.
He's last of the season though, in fairness, and I think you love Andy Carroll as much as Aloid loves Gale. Dwight Gale. and I'm gonna add Donald to the room, and I'm gonna go to you, Aloid, then for your thoughts on the team. So first of all, welcome Donald. Welcome, and
Good evening.
Aloid,
How
talk
are
us through
you?
your squad.
How are the lads? First of all, it's lovely evening. Great intro, Daz. Thank you for that. Hopefully we will, يعني inshallah, hopefully we will win tonight and we will be happy with the result. For the lineup, and I believe this is what we reach. And usually Steve Bruce didn't leave or didn't change much or ever if we have good performance or good result. I believe the last 3 games it was acceptable result and performance, and hopefully today we will get the result for the final result, and we wish to be not just 17, we want to be at least 15 this season.
At least 15 for Aloid. Cheers, Aloid. Donald, welcome. And
Good
what's your
evening,
thoughts on the
guys.
team, Donald? All good, Donald?
Yeah,
All
the
good.
team, yeah, all good. It's a positive lineup. Plenty of attacking intent in there. Let's go out there and impose our authority on the game. Let's not be slow starters. Let's play with a bit of intensity, play with a bit of intent, and really go at them.
Yeah, like we did against City, Donald. Like we did against City, just go
for
at
it.
them.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Good. Nice
yeah.
one.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Let's go get them. But at the same time, let's be cautious because Sheffield United, obviously, you would have thought will be playing for pride. Basically, they don't want to go out with a whimper. All right, they're already relegated, but they don't want to be relegated with a whimper, having not given everything.
Exactly.
So
Thanks, Donald. I'm going to add Babu to the chat as well. Babu, welcome.
Babu.
Hello, people.
Hello, mate. Hello.
All good.
Babu. All right.
We're all excited about this game.
Bring it on. A few goals would be nice.
Yeah, I remember at the start of the season, we were like, oh man, now we're like, we almost beat City. We can do this. I hope we can.
Yeah.
We just need to play the same way, have a little bit of fun. I mean, we're safe now, so we can actually attack from the start. I don't think Sheffield United have anything to play for right now. Even though they want to keep the pride still up, we still have a good chance of finishing more than 17th. We can do it. We can do it, lads.
Cool, Babo. And what's your thoughts on the team, Babo?
Oh, as soon as I saw it, I was like, same lineup as against City. Please do the same thing.
Respect.
Please do the same thing. We're respect. Sheffield United disrespected us by beating us the first game in the season. I was like, oh my word. We just had a simple job to do. Now we just have to do the same thing. I'm looking to see what Miguel and Alan get up to during the game. I'm actually here just to watch them run rampant on the defense. I feel like it's going to be a good day.
Bring it on.
I was going to say, Babo, time for sexy football, yeah?
Yes, time for sexy football. We don't want the basic football.
Yeah.
We don't want to bring Gola back. No way.
No, not him. I was saying the performance today should be sexy football. Nothing to do with all that.
While we're waiting, have a think about your predictions, lads, because I'm just going to give a shout out to the sponsors, because once again, I will forget about this later on, and I'll be trying to catch up on the comments that I'm well behind on already. So I want to give a shout out to Spider VPN. I can't really see it properly there, but yes, that's Spider VPN. A shout out to the lads there. Shout out to skipsandbins.com, and their details are there for the website, skipsandbins.com, and your email address, you can contact them, and of course we have to say hello to Sir Bobby. That's his name now, isn't it? Sir Bobby.
His name.
Yeah.
Nice one. Also want to give a shout out to John QTech and all your snooker and pool needs and t-shirts. If you're need t-shirts, contact John. He'll sort you out. T-shirts and everything through the NUFCmatters.com site. Also want to give a shout out to Jab. Shout out to Jab as well. Another sponsor for NUFC Matters. So let's go around the house and Chris, let's go to you first. As Aloid masks up for the journey back home, we can laugh at him, we won't disturb him, but we go to Chris A for what's your prediction tonight?
Sure. First, I just wanted to. Some people were asking what was Tim Maxman's comments in the chat. Very quickly, he said he didn't think that Newcastle should be fighting relegation every year. We should be pushing top 10. So could be a sign that he just wants the lads to push on. But I didn't really take it as a sign that he wants out of the club. But that's the worry from some people. Anyways, that's what he said. Yeah.
That's right, Chris. And I just want to get in there. He also, he said that he didn't want to be fighting the relegation every year. He wants to be. We should be in the club in the top 10. And he also wanted the club to sign Joe Willock. He mentioned Joe Willock.
Yes, that's true.
Bring him home, or keep him. Just don't send him back, maybe.
So what's my prediction for tonight? I'm just gonna be like optimistic, over optimistic maybe, and say that we're going to have a 3-0 victory tonight. Maybe wildly optimistic, and maybe it'll just be like a squeaker 1-0 win. But I'm confident we'll get the win, and let's make it a goal fest tonight. We always play well against the top 6. Let's finally just shut down the relegated sides, and no way will we be on the losing side tonight, since we already lost. We already gave Sheffield their first win of the season. They're not going to do the double against us this year. Let's send them packing to the championship with a resounding win. 3-0.
3-0. Good call, Chris. You know what? Put it in our private chat, Chris, because I'll forget them later. So put it in your prediction. Aloid, we go to you, or do you want us to move around?
No, yeah, sure, I'm ready.
No, go for it.
Yeah, I expect 2-1 or 3-1 to Newcastle. I believe there is much.
Superman special. 3-1.
Yes, exactly.
Nice one, Aloid. And I'm going to bring Kieran into the chat. And Baba, we'll go to you next for your prediction.
I'm on Alwadi's side on this. It's 3-1 because Newcastle, we never do anything the right way. We just have to have one thing go wrong. So that one goal will probably be the only thing that goes wrong. But 3-1, definitely.
Cool, Babo. Chris H, let's go to for your prediction.
Yeah, I think Stu Penman's going to kill me when I say this, but I think it's going to just miss out on a 3-1, Stu. I'm going to say 4-1 Newcastle.
4-1. We'll take it.
So I'll take it all day long.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, you're next. Your prediction.
I'm going to go for a 4-1 because it wouldn't be Newcastle if they didn't concede one. So I'll go for a 4-1 as well.
Yeah, 4-1 as well.
That was my thinking, Donald. That was my thinking as well.
All positive so far. Wow. I think there's only one man that can bring us down to earth here, and that man is you, Kieran. What are you thinking?
Oh no!
I think we win 2-1 tonight.
Yes. Get it, Kieran. Come on, lads. Go on, Kieran.
Whoa, we're going to win. Don't bother turning up, Sheffield United. Kieran says we're going to win. Cheers, Kieran. And let's go to your thoughts on the team as well, Kieran. I'll just bring up the team again for you to see. What's your thoughts?
A lot of sort of the build up towards the game is that he was going to stick with the 5 at the back, and I'm thinking, I mean, you got 10,000 fans come back in the ground, and you just think, oh, they're not going to be happy with that, are they? They're playing against the worst team in the league, and you're playing 5 at the back, and it just pretty much sums the bloke up, doesn't it? I mean, but I still think we'll be all right. I know they won the other day against Everton, but Everton have just been shocking, haven't they, at home? So I do expect us to get 3 points because we've still got better players.
Thanks for Kieran. I'm going to go 3-1 as well. 3-1. That was my thoughts before the game. So Stu Penman special. Very good. I think we will do let's, as we're for about 8 minutes until kickoff. Let's go to what's your thoughts, lads, and maybe we'll take for the others who are joining later on the news about Jethro Williams potentially coming back to us on a free transfer. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't really rate Jethro Williams as highly as some of the other Matters lads. You know, he was a solid player for us. He hasn't played. I don't think he's played since he was with us, so that's a worry. But he's been linked to us 1,000 times, 1,000 reports, and I'll believe it when I see it. I believe that we should be sort of our ambition should be somewhat higher than Jethro. So if we find Jethro, season, it's sort of a bargain basement signing, and I love his grit, his sort of intangibles. But as far as the player on the pitch, I'd like us to be getting someone of a higher class and ability.
I mean, to be fair, Jethro is one of the best loan signings we've had in the last 2-3 years. To be fair, I mean,
yeah, but we should. I don't want to be relying on loan signings, and that's
but we're getting him on a free, so it's like it took us 2 years to get him on a free.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. If it's a free, yeah, okay. But it'll come in like the last day of this.
Yes, trust Newcastle. Or someone will forget to file a paper and then we'll miss out. That's usually how it works now.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point though, Bob, because there was some talk of that because of the Brexit new rules that he mightn't actually be able to. We mightn't be able to sign him because it's just typical. He wants to sign, we want to sign him, we can't sign him because he hasn't played enough games or whatever like that. But yeah, he was injured for a long time. Yeah, that would be typical. Any more thoughts on Jethro Williams? Anyone?
Is he going to be the same player? He's had the injury, Is he going to have that same pace? Will he have lost? Because if he's lost a yard of pace, then But,
he's got a bloody. You've seen this. He's got the Saudi thing on his head.
Is that? Are you watching the Sky Sports mix?
Yeah. Sky Sports,
yeah. I tell you what, this looks better now, doesn't it? It looks like a proper football match now with fans in.
That's good.
I keep looking, thinking, where's Steve? Where's Holly? Every time I come up, I think I'm going to see Steve or Holly. I'm definitely going to see them.
There's Holly.
There's Holly.
There she is. There's our Holly.
Do you know what? To touch on Jethro Williams, I totally take Donald's point, and I can see why Chris is a little bit concerned over it. I mean, it's a tough one with Jethro because when he was here, I thought he was fantastic. If we could guarantee the same player coming back, great. Obviously, nobody really knows what he is like. I mean, the only positive for me is, well, there's two positives actually. The one positive for me is the fact that he's going to be on a free. So I'm assuming he's going to have to come in. There may even be some kind of pay-as-you-play deal because I don't think there's a lot of clubs queuing up to sign him. So maybe the terms will be more favourable towards Newcastle. And secondly, it's well known that he is really good friends with St. Maximin. And I know you shouldn't sign players to keep other players happy, but if it means that he can strike up that relationship with St. Maximin, which he had previously, and obviously St. Maximin spoke about Joe Willock, hasn't he, and said how great he gets on with Joe Willock. I would be doing everything in my power to keep St. Maximin happy and keep him at the club. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting we should just go out and sign all players St. Maximin wants, but
like his best friend.
Okay. Lawrence Ignacio. He's in the reserves, isn't he? But no, do you know what? Jethro, in fairness to him, I thought he was fantastic at left back for us. And even if he's lost that little yard of pace, technically he's fantastic. He's great on the ball, great going forwards.
We might be on the cuspice of the great rebuild because the players we're getting now, we want them to be under 27. We don't want no. If we can get Joe Willock, for me, that's a win for this season. That's a win for this season.
Joe Willock gives us energy in the middle of the park, gives us that energy, which, John Joe Shelby's got about as much energy as a Poundland battery, hasn't he? So with Joe Willock, he snaps, he's in there. For
Yeah,
example, you know,
but
the goal he
can you
scored
imagine
against
if
Leicester.
can you imagine if we had like the midfield of Joe Willock, Hayden, and someone else like Matty Longstaff or Sean Longstaff? That's a functioning midfield that can give you like a good 75-minute run for your money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem we need people that have that level of fitness.
Yeah. They'd
Lads,
battle
I
in the
want-
middle of the park, Babbo. They would, what the midfield trio you've mentioned there, they would battle in the middle of the park. Forget your De Bruyne's and all that. They'd say, go on, let's get into them. That's what we want to see. Not, here you go, lads. Just play. You know, get stuck into them in the middle of the park. That's what we want to see. Field, yeah? Yeah, so
I'm on Sky Go, so I'm behind, so I'm about 4 seconds behind. So you guys are my eyes and ears tonight. But I just want to say there's a few more games going on. There's at this time there's 2 other games. Everton are playing Wolves, Spurs are playing Villa, and then at 7:00 Palace are playing Arsenal. And then later on this evening, Burnley are playing Liverpool, and West Brom are playing West Ham. And then there's a big one in League One. Lincoln City are playing Sunderland in the first leg of that playoff semi-final. So we'll probably be keeping an eye on that too. If anyone hears any scores in that, especially Lincoln City, we want to see Lincoln City score, and then I can get to do this.
Okay, I'm about to break you guys' hearts, right? But I want Sunderland to be promoted back into the Premier League because I want people to be able to.
Babbo. That's Babbo gone. Should we? He thinks he's still talking though. He's still. I think I've heard that back in. You're back. Try that again, Babbo.
I missed the derby matches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely,
mate.
mate.
I should have let you finish. Yeah.
I think they will come up. To be honest, I think they'll get promoted. I do. I think they'll win the playoffs.
I mean, one of like the greatest things about like the derby matches was also like I didn't know the history, right? I would just see like every like couple of months like a flood of red and white shirts and black and white shirts, and I'm like, oh, there's a party going on. And I was like, oh, it's not a party. It's a battle for the soul of the Northeast.
That's Babbo, that's Northeast Civil War. That black and white.
Yeah.
You just feel with Sunderland, it's now or never, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they can't. Surely they're not going to they can't bottle it again this season.
Yeah. No, I
because
hope
if they do, they're just going to be in that league for a long time, aren't they? Yeah. If they don't come up this year.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah.
I don't think they'll get relegated. I just think they'll just like, sort of stagnate in that league.
And we're off.
Come on, lads.
Come on, Newcastle.
Come on, the tune.
Yeah, and there's meant to be a few more joining us later on. We have a few seats left in the house. We haven't sold out yet.
Gosh, got a corner already.
I tell you what, Dad. Do you know what we didn't mention as well at the very start? You know when we were talking about the lineup and we were talking about our chances and how we felt about the game. We've actually not mentioned the fact that we've got 10,000 people backing us today. If that doesn't get the players up, I don't know what will. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how more inspired the players can be with having 10,000 fans scream for them, and they haven't had it for over a year.
It's a pity the Winston isn't there.
It's very loud. I'm very impressed by the sound of 10,000. You know,
what makes this club keep going, though, doesn't it? Because the owner and manager don't, do they?
I think Joe Linton's going to score today. I think he's been up for it the last few games.
I think he liked that.
He's trying.
Oh, wow.
It looks like he's really, really trying. I think he's going to score.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he'll be up for it today.
I can't remember feeling this confident about a game ever.
I know, right?
I'm struggling. I'm actually struggling. Like even when we played Brentford in the cup, I thought we'd win, but I was a bit like, ugh. Yeah. But this, I don't know what it is. I just think I honestly expect us to score about 4. I really do. Especially after the City result.
Mm-hmm.
It's Avon. Chris has been replaced by Havon.
I kind of half expect Aloe to get on a plane next, and then just at the end of the match, just arrive onto St James's Park.
Yeah, yeah.
Announce the
Yeah.
takeover. You know, that'll be
Hopefully soon.
Outside
No.
the strawberry.
Daz, it's going to be like Keegan's helicopter. It's going to come
Yeah.
in. Yeah, Al will lead. Like Keegan flew out, Al will lead fly in with the good news.
That doesn't look like it's going to happen until a long time yet, like, doesn't it? If it is going to happen, I mean, they're talking. This is going to go on for talking bloody September. I read yesterday.
September, yeah.
Can't afford.
Pick a month, pick a year, isn't it?
Yeah, can't afford
Yeah,
that.
I think Nick DeMarco, maybe 1 month ago, he gave us a hint that everything
look
will
at
be in
this.
September.
Go on, Maxi.
Oh,
And don't forget, this is assuming that it goes the full length.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility, isn't there, that, you know, by the time the Premier League are due to submit their documents or submit whatever evidence they need to, are they going to have a chat amongst themselves and go, listen, is there any point going through this? Because we all know what way it's going to go. They could come to a settlement. There is. I know it's a slim hope, but
I think they're determined to go all the way. You know, the longer this drags on, the I wouldn't sound confident anyway, but the more it drags on, the more I feel like it's not going to happen. They've obviously. I don't know if there's a problem or anything, because this should be resolved by now. It's like, the arbitration. This should, in terms of the separation, that should be. You know, they're talking that they've got the best lawyers on the deal. You'd like to think that they would have that wrapped up on that, but obviously not.
You know, one thing I'd like to add, just it's poignant, we're playing Sheffield United today. Sheffield United were taken over by also Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. How come all these no issues came up when they got taken over? What's going on there? I have
to explain that. So that's taken over. The owner of Sheffield is a minor prince, like a very distant cousin, like not anyone that's anywhere near the leadership. So there's no he doesn't even really even have like a government role. So there's no sort of he took it over with his own money. Even though you could say that it's not like Bin Salman's own money. It's the PIF.
And it happens in the EFL as well, didn't it, Chris? It didn't happen in the Premier League.
But we also needed to dispel this idea that the EFL it has an easier test. They reformatted their owners and directors test, so it's basically the same standard as the Premier League. So all those fanciful stories of let's just go down and get the takeover sorted in the championship, that was never going to happen either way.
There's a problem with ours because there's sort of apparently there's like a few government ministers in the part of it, aren't they?
The whole PIF board is government ministers and advisors.
That's what they're trying to figure out, aren't they? They're trying to figure out if it's separate from the government, which is going to be. Looking at that, you just think, Christ, it makes you wonder how they'll be able to find that out.
I always thought the solution was to do what Man City did, which is to create something a spin-off of PIF that's like a sports investment group, and then put people on that board that are not government ministers. But we go into battle with the army we have, not the army we'd like to have, as our former defense secretary said.
It's politics and sport conflicting, isn't it? Basically.
I think that they could still potentially do that, but I think they wanted to do it the right way. They wanted to go have their face on it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if this was like Bin Salman paying out his own money, it'd be a different.
This is it. They want him to go through.
He bought a yacht and a painting that was like more money than Newcastle.
They want him to go through the owners and directors test.
Yeah,
it's stupid, isn't it? They can't. Oh no!
What's the runner? Oh
my God! And he scored.
Flipping out.
We don't want to be too political. So, let's
and that's why they've been relegated. That should be 1-0. That should be 1-0.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I thought that was 1-0.
I love the confidence where you're like, they should have scored there. Why have they not scored?
Oh, mate. Honestly,
bit of that.
Yeah, he's through on goal and he's not even put it on target. He's not even made the keeper work.
He's had the goalkeeper.
Can we acknowledge that Aloi's done a bit of an Annika Rice himself here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Definitely doing Annika Rice.
The Eid cut.
Annika Al Saud.
Go on.
Okay, now I'll get to see that break that you're talking about for Sheffield United.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, when you see him shoot, you think, "Oh, here we go," and he just puts it wide. That's the problem they've got.
No,
Attacking stats just come up, says it all.
I certainly wouldn't buy any of their players.
All right,
Apart from the left back, I do like the left back. Like the left back.
What's his name? Ender Stevens.
Yeah, Ender Stevens.
Yeah.
I mean, if he offered me him or Jetro Williams, I would go for him because he's a left back. But Jetro Williams, he was. Don't get me wrong, he was good going forward. But the problem with him, I don't think he can play in the back four. If we want to play in the back four, I don't think he can do that. It's just my opinion. But
are we planning on playing a back four? Because the way things are going, we're going to be playing a back three or a back five
for
a very long time.
He would probably work in this system.
He was.
It's a back five, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. I mean, going forward, he's great, and if he's overlapping with Saint on the left, I think it's arguably one of the most potent left sides in the Premier League.
Yeah,
they're both on the day. Great.
The way Saint Maximin approaches his public interactions he always reminds me of Cantona. Cantona would never say anything politically correct. He would just tell you what he's thinking. Because Alan is just like, yes, we need to get Willock too, and you're just like,
make it happen.
Not allowed to say that.
And there's another 5 million onto his price.
Yeah,
I've just got a feeling Arsenal are going to want to keep him, or they're going to ask for a lot of money, which we won't be able to,
Yeah, wasn't it rumoured that about 25 to 30 million? Which
I think it's a little bit too much. I think he's in that 10 to 15 million bracket for me. I certainly wouldn't pay 25 million for him.
I think what he's done this season, that's the only reason why. Because Arsenal wouldn't have let him go on loan if they knew he was capable of doing that.
Yeah.
I think the problem is as well, he's young and he's English, isn't he? There's always a premium on English players. If he was from France or Belgium or whatever, I don't think he would have necessarily that price tag on him.
No.
Okay, question to the panel. Of all the teams going down, if you could pick one player
Anguissa
from their midfield
straight away, Anguissa from Fulham,
I like him a lot, kid. I like him a lot.
He's a good player.
Maybe we should get our board to be like, look, you can't afford these players you want to go for, so just pick the best of the ones that are going down.
I don't even think we can afford him.
I would take Scott Parker.
Scott Parker was one of the best, battling midfielders of his time. It's just so weird to see him in a manager.
As a manager.
Yeah, as a manager, I'm just like, I used to watch you run an entire midfield. What is going on?
Yeah. I agree with you there, Babbo. Scott Parker was one of those players, right? Not the most graceful, but he left it all on the pitch when he played.
Yeah.
I remember that game against Arsenal where he literally had to be carried off. And
he's one of those players that literally he will work to himself to death.
Yeah.
And I also think he's the best dressed manager, so we have the same style.
Well,
I mean, no, come on. Pep has been doing the whole laid back, I'm winning this thing without caring too much kind of thing.
He just
be on the sideline with a jumper and sneakers.
You don't have to wear a suit and tie to look class.
Yeah.
See, if I think we touched on it last week, and I think Chris Hall, you mentioned it in your loaded program about Rafa Benitez and Saint Maximin. I just don't see that going well. I just don't see that going well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. I just can't imagine them two going together. And I mean, his interview today as well. It looks like if this doesn't happen, he potentially could be off, couldn't he? Because he's got the same ambition as what we've got, but the club don't.
Then Saint Maximin is not going to play, or he's going to have to grow really, really quickly and learn to become a Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Because
true.
I'm sure everyone remembers when Ronaldo first came to the Premier League and he was doing all these
Yeah.
stepovers and
Stepovers.
flicks, and Ferguson was like, no, not here. Not here. And he ended up becoming one of the greatest players the world has ever seen because he had someone to train the bad manners out of him. You only do things. I mean, I've seen some Premier League footballers do some insane things when they're just having fun with the ball. And when it comes to the game, they play the game.
If he had stayed with Man United, he would have just destroyed.
Oh my God!
Scoring record.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Messi and Ronaldo are not people; they are aliens. I believe that. I'm serious. Lewandowski joined them late in his career. I'm like, are you sweating goals? Why everything you touch is just like, oh, it's a goal. Yes. I was falling asleep, but I managed to touch it. Yes. I'm like, no.
Where do you think we'll finish in the table, guys?
I said 16th. I think
16th.
Yeah, I said 16 as well.
I'll be optimistic and say 15th. Come on. We can have a little bit of fluke. At this point, it doesn't really matter. We're looking to next season.
No one said 13.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know.
We're getting outplayed by bloody Sheffield United. Yeah.
All right, we've switched off.
What was the lowest that Rafa Benitez finished in his full season? Did he ever finish 16?
No.
He was 10th and 13th. Yeah, 10th and 13th. Yeah.
Hopefully 15. Maybe you can get 15.
With spending £2 million net. That's an achievement on its own. And that's what makes me so angry every time I see or hear news about like, oh, we forgot to renew Yedlin's visa, so he goes on a free. I'm like, if you have managed this club properly, intentionally, then we won't be struggling for money the way it's happening.
So are you guys rooting for Bournemouth to come back up so we get all the so we get all the parachute payments back? Because right now right now we've got 8 million.
Chris, yeah, you're right.
Right now we've got 8 million back. We've got 8 million back from
Ivan?
Tony.
Ivan Tony.
No, we got 8 million back in the transfer kitty because 2 of the clubs come straight back up. So if all 3 come up, I think it's like 12 million.
It does look like the Bournemouth might have got the upper hand at the moment because they won the other night, didn't they? They got the advantage. Yeah. I'd like to see them come up so I can go to their ground next season. It's not far from United, but yeah, I mean it'd be just typical of all 3 teams come back up, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I think they're better equipped as well this time. You know, I think it'll be harder to stay up next season than it will be this. If we've still got this heat of shite.
Give us a maxi.
It would also, if all 3 clubs come back out, it would sort of also be a blow against this whole anti ESL thing about the whole idea of English football is the pyramid, and if we just have the same clubs coming back. I mean, look at Fulham. They've come up, down, up, down, up, down.
They're a yo-yo club.
Yeah. So I think that we're seeing more often now. We don't really see like a Leeds or like a QPR just drop down and bottom out. We see clubs that are sort of not quite good enough for the Premier League, but like outclassing the rest of the Championship just to bounce back up. So I don't see that changing anytime soon.
No.
Spurs are 1-0 up at Villa. Bergwijn with the goal after 8 minutes there.
Because I would have to say that the 3 relegated clubs, Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield, would probably be the favorites to come back up.
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah, depends on who Fulham all they can keep the players. Yeah. And you see like Norwich and Watford, Bournemouth have done that.
You think Scott Parker will have another campaign? Yeah.
Aloid, tell us what's happening on Saturday night. I do have the video, but I can't play it because I played it unloaded and I got a strike, so I had to mute it. So, but I have a little screenshot of the video. So, what's happening on Saturday night?
You mean a strike from YouTube?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
yeah.
It happened with me as well. I didn't know why. Actually, this is a celebration episode, and the aim is to introduce NUFC matters and loaded mags to the Arabic and Saudi fans. So the one who follow me, they know that I am participate in your shows, but I want them to see closely, as I will be talking in Arabic some part of the show. It's gonna be 90 minutes. First half break and second half. First half we'll introduce and we'll talk freely, and all of you are invited, even for a few minutes. If it's up to you. You want to stay the whole 90 minutes, or even just 1 minute, or a minute 65. If you want someone to come.
Are there substitutions?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Daniel. So and the break we'll try to make maybe some contests, some fun stuff, and the second half we will talk about Newcastle, maybe Premier League, best players, best teams, best goal, a bit of that and hopefully it's going to be fun. And later on, I want to see who will be able to join. It will start at 5 p.m. UK Saturday, so the day before the final game against Fulham.
Cool. Thanks, Eloise. Yeah, that's one to keep an eye out for. And we'll send the link out to everyone on Twitter, so everyone will be well aware when it's on. So keep an eye out for that.
Does international superstardom for you and Martin and Chris? You'll be international superstars. Never mind UK.
If I can make it, I will. At the moment, it's looking very doubtful, but I hope to make it.
I know, I'm the same. I know. Even if I can pop on just for a minute, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Because it would really kind of our lead to invite us on.
So what I'm gonna do for those who will just can only 1 minute or just a second. Once they enter, I will give him the mic to talk a bit, so he can go freely. So no need to wait or just stay without participating. As long as you will not stay for the whole show. Yeah, it's no rules. It's just open play.
Rolling subs, like ice hockey. Rolling subs.
Exactly.
Yeah, rolling subs.
It's like this. We make it up as we go along.
Yeah.
A new little banner, takeover complete of NUFC Matters from Loaded HQ. That'll
that's Civil War number 2.
Takeover complete, and my brain just went.
There we go.
I tell you what, we can't seem to pass win today. Never mind the football, can we?
Shocking, isn't it? 10,000 fans have turned up for this, and look what they're producing. It's just
honestly, it's
dross, isn't it? It's just absolutely. Why would you go and watch this? Why would you go and watch this heap of shite for? Honestly, I would have paid.
Sheffield United have had the upper hand in this half so far. We say have been absolutely useless. And as for Voldemort, bloody hell!
Oh, he's
I know.
Still 0-0 in the Lincoln-Sunderland game, everybody. Just
come on, Lincoln.
Up to date on that. Go on, Lincoln.
Come on, Lincoln.
We'll switch to that game if we have to later on.
That's when they'll know I've taken over.
Tell you what, Daz, I've enjoyed this conversation more than I've enjoyed when I'm watching it.
Oh, wait, 1 second. I'll be right back.
Cool, Chris.
Also, it just seems like Newcastle has they have the scouting team to see the talent when they are young, but to develop it is just a problem.
Yeah.
Because right now, I believe we're looking at is it a Sheffield United player I want to bring in on transfer, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, our youth policy, I don't get it. There's no youth talents being nurtured under this regime. And
I got my lucky penny here. This is
that's going to make a big difference.
It's a Lincoln penny.
A Lincoln
We've
penny.
resorted to
This is
witchcraft.
This is good for like two goals for Lincoln.
All right. Oh, right.
Julie says that Newcastle have heard the cult leaders in the house, so they're nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Could be it.
Could be that, you know. Could be.
Yeah. I think our cult leader should go down in the dressing room half time. So, yeah.
No, but
might
we
happen,
definitely need to work on our youth development.
Or he should offer them a bonus. The first goal scorer gets a free NUFC Matters t-shirt or something.
Maybe Amanda and Mirdad are there.
Yeah.
and Jamie Rubin.
Jamie Rubin. Yeah, not forgetting.
Joe.
God, this is awful.
Someone have sound on. If they do, they turn it down.
Yeah, just mute it, please. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's good.
sorry about that.
You're going, Chris.
It's just depressing to think we could be going all through this again at the start of next season.
Yeah.
God, they're just getting no luck, do they?
Look, I will settle for next season if the takeover doesn't happen over the summer. I will settle for a very good manager.
Yeah.
I'm okay with a very good manager.
Well, that's not. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen over the summer. The timelines. Yeah, we'll be lucky if it's resolved by the end of the year. That's sort of more like.
I'll tell you what.
September, October is more like the.
There's no way Saint Maximan's staying with this. If this is like this, he'll be off.
Go on.
If I was Bruce now, I think I'd make a change and I'd bring in a Richie Story. That'd be the way to go.
Oh,
hey,
Richie.
Richie Rich.
Evening, lads. You all right?
All right.
Evening.
All good, Rich.
Speaking of the deep-pocketed Saudi. Oh man.
What you make of it so far, Richie?
Yeah, I don't know. First 5 minutes.
Well, someone's just said in the comments there that Shelby's tooth come out. I thought his tooth had come out because I seen something like bounce away from his mouth, and yeah, I think he got his tooth knocked out.
Should got some bloody sense in him, shouldn't it?
That's not how it works.
Voldemort lost some of his chomper.
That's the penny, Chris. That's the penny did.
The penny's working. Yeah.
I can't.
This was a match I expected Elliot Anderson to be in.
Yeah, he's injured, isn't he?
Yeah.
Injured.
Yeah.
Sorry, Richie. We're going to ask you what's your thoughts on the game so far.
It's been pretty hit and missy so far. We started first 5 minutes, all right, but obviously then Sheffield United came back into it. But we seem to be getting a bit more on top now. It's a dangerous free kick we've got here. I'd like to see who's going to take it.
Looks like Murphy's going to take
Shelby.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like with the Sheffield and the pink jerseys, we're playing like pink. It's like Pink Panther movie. This is like how woeful the performance is. It's a comedy.
I think everyone's slagging you off, Chris H, about Avon in the chat as well.
He's a new man. Come back strong.
I can just hear people booing in the background.
Really? I can't hear that. Yeah. So they should. It's not been great, is it?
It's not even that.
This is Sheffield.
They waited so long.
They're not allowed to sing and do the chant, so it's kind of like, what else can they do?
This is Sheffield United we're playing.
I'm going to give you a hypothetical question, lads. It's one we touched on loaded as well the other night. We'll go around the house. Chris A, we'll start with you. If ASM was to be sold, we don't want him to be sold, how much would you sell him for? What's your price if you were to sell him?
Oh, it's got to be at least double. I would start bids at like 50. You know, who knows what we haven't really seen what the market is. Sort of COVID. You know,
True.
I don't think that like we're going to see like Chelsea signings like Havertz and what's the other dude? Like those signings, no one will get near those.
Oh, what a save!
Oh,
Shelby's.
God, you guys are way ahead of me. It's just embarrassing. I'm like 3 seconds
Me too.
behind. Because I'm on
behind.
I'm on BT, so BT must get like their Sky feed like.
Get that TARDIS sorted out.
Yeah.
So-
So like I would say like I would be shocked if he was let go for less than 40. I mean he's like we sort of talked about that Mike Ashley would want to get double his 20 million back.
I think 60. I think 60.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. I've always thought of him as like if you think of Joe Linton coming over on a free, and then Alan Maximum was 60, like between because I don't want to think of Joe Linton as a 40 million player. Like I would say like at least switch him and say that Maximum was the 40 million and Joe Linton was the 20 million. But so 50 to 60 million would be my ballpark. I would be shocked if he went for less than 40. I expect him to be back next season anyway.
Yeah, I'm just catching that Shelby header there now. That was a good save from the keeper. Thanks, Chris. Alois, if you have to sell ASM, how much do you sell him for?
Yeah, I'm like Chris. And it will be a robbery if they've been sold less than 50. He's first to dribble in the Premier League, first to dribbling, and I think if he will be under a great coach who can develop him much, I think he will be one of the best players in the Premier League. So 50 as just to start talking, start bidding.
Put that penny away. Kieran, you have to sell ASM. How much do you sell him for?
Oh God. Well, knowing Mike Ashley, he's not going to back down from anything less than 50 million in my opinion. I mean, was he on a 6 year? I think he's on a 6 year contract.
6 year contract.
He's got
2026. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got. I believe he has got a release clause in it, hasn't he? I think if the situation is sort of still like this, and we're heading into the season with Bruce and Ashley, I think there's a very good chance that he could be gone, because he's not going to put up with another. He even come out today and said he's not going to put up with another season of this, Joss. He's too good for that, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's too good.
On his day, he is, and
that's a very good qualifier. On his day, if he was consistent, then he has the mark.
He would be here already.
Consistent.
Yeah.
But we rely on him too much, don't we? We rely on him too much, which is not fair. You need to sort of take the pressure off him a bit.
Yes, we're basically relying on him and what's his name?
Callum
Mr. Miguel. We're just like those two should magically do everything and get it up to Callum Winslow. So like we need to be very clinical about our signings, because all these how do I put it? We're just gonna buy players get players that are out of contract. It ain't helping us. Ryan Fraser did not do anything this season.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And he played more games than he should have.
He's been the biggest flop ever, right? Isn't he? Fraser.
Oh, he might still turn out good, but I'm like,
go on, Max. He's in. Go. He's in. Go on.
Penalty. On a free kick. Oh, I thought it was a penalty.
I thought it was as well.
Does he give a penalty?
What's he
Yeah,
giving?
let's give it. It's a penalty. Yeah, I think it's a penalty.
To us.
Is it a penalty?
Yeah, I think.
Penalty.
Come on, Richie. Come on.
Was it? Is that outside the box?
Mate.
No, I just give a yellow card to Maxi.
It's outside the box.
It was off the ball. I mean, there wasn't that.
He died.
No, I think he's give a yellow card. I think he's give a yellow card to Maxi.
He has. Yeah. It wasn't even the box anyway.
No, it was outside. It was outside. Yeah. Outside, didn't it?
I'll get to see that in another minute.
Looks like they're giving a free kick.
Yeah,
free kick. No, he does. He's fine.
Stevens has been good. Cross your bloody mate a meal of that, didn't he?
Okay, it's not a dive. That's not a
No,
dive.
no, sorry, it was for Stevens.
My God, if it's
Yeah,
going, Jesus.
but I don't know what Maximan has been eating. He just knocked past like 5 people.
No, it's the fans, isn't it?
That
No,
was
he
a dive.
took a bit.
That was a dive. It wasn't maybe a dive. It was an exaggerated fall, a trip.
Oh, shocking.
Hey.
Oh Jesus!
What's happening now? Totally lost. It was a penalty. It was a yellow card. It was what happened?
Free kick.
No, free kick.
Richie Sky
Free kick at the far right corner of the box, Dad. And he just went to the top left hand corner for about 5 yards wide.
Okay. New topic then.
Is Steve will join us or later or from the stadium or
yeah, if he's got signal he might. I'm not sure.
signal, yeah.
This way he might be leaving.
I thought he said he would send something. He wouldn't join us like actually live.
Go on, put it through.
He'll send a video.
First time across, man.
Oh Jesus! Well,
Okay, new question, lads. Ryan Fraser has been called up to the Scottish squad for the Euros, even though Steve Bruce said that he would be a risk to pick him. What's your thoughts on? Let's go for the thoughts on Ryan Fraser in general. Mine are that he hasn't done much this season. Maybe it's maybe he does have some kind of an attitude issue, and he definitely doesn't seem to get on with Bruce. Yeah, I can see why Scotland want to bring him. He has played really well for Scotland when he's played, but no, he hasn't done much for us this season. Whatever about next season. But what's your thoughts on Ryan Fraser in general? Who would like to start?
I would definitely say it's.
Yeah, he's been a waste of space for us. I mean, we might have got more out of Private Fraser from Dad's Army than Ryan Fraser. but yeah, I don't get the man. I mean, obviously there's something not right. I mean, we don't know, but to play well for your country and not turn it on for your club, it's like a reverse John Barnes. Remember, John Barnes used to do well for the club, but never did it for England. I would call him a reverse John Barnes, scenario there. But something's got to improve. If he doesn't want to be here, I mean, I don't think anybody will have him. But another coach might get the bet out of him. But there's something not right.
I think it's very wrong to encourage these players to have a Disney princess attitude.
Yeah.
Because I'm very sure Ronaldo did not like all the managers he played under, but that did not affect his job.
Yeah, he's quit on two straight clubs. He quit on Bournemouth.
Yeah.
He quit on Steve Bruce in Newcastle. He's a head case. I mean, he loves playing for Scotland. He scores boatloads of goals for Scotland, but he hasn't shown up for Newcastle on most of the matches.
It was our problem.
For Celtic or Rangers.
Someone who had he has a track record of doing that, and still we signed him ahead of many other players because we had no choice. And this is why I said, like, the club is not picking. Like, what do we define as a Newcastle player? Because right now we're just picking anybody that's like, oh, you have a pulse? Okay, go in. So we just need to decide that, because Ryan Fraser is a cautionary tale. From the time he got that red card and he just walked off, I was like, I'm done with you. I don't care how many goals you score. No, because a bad attitude on a player, you can't. I can accept a player not being good.
So you'd sell him, Babo, if you could.
Out the door, please. Thank you so much. Even on a free, just go.
Load him out to Hearts and see him score goals.
Yeah, because I hate when someone. I don't mind if you're not good enough. I hate when you don't care. I don't think he cares. At the end of the day, what?
He thinks he's bigger than what he is. He thinks he should be playing for the top six. Remember back last year.
Free kick.
You remember back last year, he was trying to play for a move to one of the big six because he didn't want to play for them, did he? For Bournemouth.
But at the same time, there is a quality players in the big six have. They are
He's not good enough for
Essentially
that.
the best professionals in the league.
Yeah.
So you cannot go like. Can you imagine Ryan Fraser ever having the opportunity to play under Zinedine Zidane and start saying he doesn't feel like it? No.
Zinedine Zidane
You
is
ain't like what that man has done in your entire career. You haven't even done one season of what he's done. So you can't be acting like that. And it's all that matter of perspective. That's why I say I can't deal with somebody with a bad attitude. I don't mind if you're not good enough, but that attitude, no.
John Linton's down injured.
His upside is like Juan Mata, so like not great, but like a solid player. But I don't. And his downside is like worse than Joe Linton.
Yeah, but it affects the whole team. So it's not just him. If he doesn't care, then Richie gets angry. Richie gets into a fight with him, and then so it just breaks down everything. Having someone with that kind of attitude never works. So I don't care how much physiotherapy and psychotherapy and all these other therapies. I don't even think we have that in our training center in Newcastle. So that's another problem we're having.
He's no Hatem Ben Arfa.
No. At least with Ben Arfa, like you could tell, like there was the skill there. Now you're just like, why?
Chris H, we'll go to you, Chris. What's your thoughts on Fraser? And I know you didn't get a chance to say your bit about ASM either. So answer both questions.
Yeah, mate. So in terms of ASM and his price, for me, I'd want anything north of 70 million. And that's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right, but and I'm talking pre-COVID. Obviously, we may never get back to those prices. But if we're still how we were 12, 18 months ago, if Crystal Palace are after 70 million for Sahar, then we've got to be getting at least 70 million for St. Maximin, in my opinion, because I think Sahar's gone a little bit backwards, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And to back you there, Chris, as well, throwing in another name, Nicholas Pepe. Arsenal paid
Nicholas
72
Pepe,
million for him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd be asking for, because St. Maximin's winning games on his own. And in a very poor Newcastle side with a very poor Newcastle manager. So, any big clubs will be looking at St. Maximin. And if they were interested, if I was the owner, I'd be going, let's start talking at 70 million. That's what I'd do. I know people are saying like take double and stuff like that, but we only bought him in for 16 million. So I wouldn't entertain 40, 50 million. I wouldn't even talk to them. I really wouldn't. But that's just my opinion. But in terms of
Chris went for the jugular.
It didn't come out to like 20 million with like incentives and stuff. I thought it was clearly like 20 million.
Maybe. I think it was up front for 16 and then it went to 20. It was something like that. But either way, we got an absolute steal. Steal.
As I remember, like on at the base, it was just a little bit less than Almiron, but with incentives, it was more than Almiron.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a great deal. I mean, obviously he came with a little bit of baggage, didn't he? Because I know he fell out with Patrick Vieira at Nice, and that's why they were so keen for us to have him. But yeah, he's been fantastic. And to be fair, his disciplinary record, if you're led to believe, has been absolutely exemplary. And what he does off the pitch, in terms of like really getting involved with the community and the food bank, I've got nothing but praise for St. Maximin. If other stories are led to believe, that like he's flying back to France as and when he wants to, that's a separate issue. But obviously, if the management aren't controlling him, then that's their issue. It's not his.
He had that weird story where he was removed from the team flight, and that's when the sort of like the off-field stuff and COVID stuff started.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And sorry, Daz, what was the second question?
Joe Fraser.
On Ryan Fraser and his inclusion in the squad.
Do you know what? I take everyone's point, and his attitude isn't great. I think half of it though is, Simon Jordan waxed lyrical about him, didn't he, on TalkSport? And I think that's kind of given everyone a little bit of an opinion on him. His attitude hasn't been great. When he got that red card, I wasn't very impressed with him. But on the other hand, our management regime isn't great. Our owner isn't great. And you do wonder, he struck up a cracking relationship with Callum Wilson. Now, Callum Wilson comes across as a cracking fella, and I don't think that Callum Wilson would have a relationship with such a terrible person or, a terrible player. I think Ryan Fraser's got potential to be good. He showed that with Scotland. But don't get me wrong, it's not looking great. But if we signed him on a free, now when we got him on a free, I couldn't believe it. Like, you know, not long before that, he was being linked with Tottenham, Arsenal, and there was a few players, a few clubs who were really interested in him. So for me, I'd give him another 6 to 12 months. I mean, imagine a Ryan Fraser under Rafa Benitez. Could be talking a completely different player. So I'd still give him a chance. But yeah, I agree. His start hasn't been great, and you know, if you were to swing one way or the other, would you keep him, get rid of him? I'd probably edge on the side of keeping him just to give him a little bit longer. But I do appreciate why people do want to get rid of him. I can see why.
You made an interesting point. The what's his name? Guy that smiles a lot. Callum Wilson won't be friends with. Sometimes when you're that close of friends with someone, you do not see the flaws. We are able to be objective about it. That is probably why. But you do raise a great point, though. Maybe we should be talking to Senior Callum to be like, "Oh, talk to your friend."
If you remember, they had the both. Did he have joint most assists a couple of years ago? Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
Callum Wilson when they were at Bournemouth together. Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely a partnership there. It's just, can you fit them?
It makes me laugh as well, Kieran. Like, he's come from Bournemouth, and people are saying, "Oh, he doesn't want to be in the Northeast. He doesn't want to be here." Bearing in mind he plays for Scotland, but they're saying he doesn't want to be in the Northeast. I'm not being funny. You know, he's joined Newcastle, and outside of Newcastle fans, if you were a professional footballer right now, would you want to play for Newcastle? I'm not sure I would if I wasn't a Newcastle fan. I can kind of understand it. The club's in a bit of a mess at the moment, isn't it? You've got a manager who no one wants. You've got an owner who doesn't want to be there and does the least that he can do. So maybe, and he doesn't want to be fighting a relegation battle every year, and he probably thinks he should be playing for a better team. So I don't know.
This is it. This relegation thing with him. He done it last year with Bournemouth, didn't he? He just didn't want to play for them because they're in a relegation battle. There's clearly an attitude problem there, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he should roll his sleeves up. He should.
Yeah.
But some players aren't capable of doing that. I'm not defending him, but some players, he probably thinks, I come here with big bucks. They told me we were going to be in the top 10. They told me that we were going to be challenging for stuff, and they're not. And then he can't even get a game. So he's probably thinking, well, what's the point in me being here?
But surely he's done it. He's done his research on the manager before any of the players before they come in. Surely they would do the research. Surely they know his track record and how bad it is.
Trouble is, though, Kieran, I don't think there was a queue of clubs queuing up to get Ryan Fraser. Yeah. I think we were one of his limited options.
He fancies himself like a top 6 player, but there's no top 6. There's no top 6 takers for him.
Yeah. He thought he's good. He thinks he's good enough to get.
Is that Chris's couch talking?
I'm putting a pizza in the oven. I don't want to. I'm on my headphones.
Regarding the Fraser, I believe he wasn't lucky this season. He came. He got a chance when Saint Maximin got injured, and we see Steve Bruce. He only have 2 choice because he always play 5 at the back and he have 3 in the middle or 4 and 1 striker. So he didn't get a chance, and when he get a chance, Steve Bruce wants Fraser to be Saint Maximin, and unfortunately he's not Saint Maximin style.
Saint Maximin.
Yeah, it's different. He just unlucky. I think he's a good player, but and he wasn't lucky in that situation.
He's like a Shaqiri. He's like a Shaqiri for Liverpool.
Yeah,
that's that. Well, I mean, there's the reports today. They've been linked with Oxlade-Chamberlain. I don't know if anyone's seen that. They just could be like trying to offload some of these players. I think. Well,
yeah.
That'd be. I mean, I'll take him all day. But it's better
if you've got a fit Oxlade-Chamberlain, you've got a good player on your hands. The trouble is, it's keeping him fit.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I think Newcastle was also linked with Barkley.
Yeah.
I never wanted Barkley.
We were linked with a million players. I don't believe all these. Yeah. It's just rubbish. It's just agents putting out. It's agents putting out rubbish to like Gazzetto del Sport or something like some Spanish. It's always a Spanish journalist that's reporting on Newcastle, like they know. Come on.
I would have Ross Barkley over Almiron.
I think they might just be trying to drive their prices up.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what son of
It's all from agents trying to drive the prices up, saying, "Look, I'm gonna."
Joe, that's
Oh.
terrible.
Oh my
That's
God.
terrible.
Joe
Take the
regressing.
number 9 shirt off him at the end of the season. Take it off him.
I don't think
Well
he's
on
mine.
He's
He's
offside.
for the game.
Well on side.
Yeah, he's an
He didn't even
insult
head
to
the
the
ball
number
down,
9
did
shirt.
he?
Take it off him.
Hit the ball down. He's just come. It's hit him
Joe,
straight in the
man.
head. It's gone.
Murphy whipped the ball in for anyone who's not watching the match. Murphy whipped the ball in. Joe Linton did well to get in the position. He broke away from the defence. And rather than like try and guide the ball with his foot maybe and try and loop it round or control it. Go on.
What a save.
Oh,
Saved by the goalkeeper.
That was a belter save.
Tell you that goalkeeper. I don't rate that goalkeeper, but he's been good tonight, hasn't he?
Oh, what?
Offside.
Yeah, the first opportunity Murphy with the ball in, and Joe really should have either tried to control it and place it, or just put a foot on it and try and whip it in. But instead, he took a header on, and it was an impossible angle to get it on target with a header, and then he ends up just heading it like that way. So it was nowhere near on target, and St. Maximin just did a little bit of magic as he always does, cuts the ball back in. Joe Willock has a shot, but unfortunately the keeper saved it. Did you say it was offside, lads? Was that?
Yeah, it was. I think it was offside.
Okay.
That would have been 6 and 6 for him if he'd scored that.
Yeah.
Amazing that, isn't it?
Probably would have added another couple of mil on the price tag as well, Caden.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. I can't.
It's like 2.5 million per goal.
Yeah, it feels that way. Yeah.
I personally think he's better than anything Arsenal got. I mean, he does sometimes go missing, but I've watched Arsenal this season, and you can't tell me he's. I mean, who's that guy they've got in midfield? Is it El Neni?
Yeah.
I think he's a better player than him. Xhaka. I know Xhaka's been playing left back, but I think.
Go on, Joe. Go on, Maxi. Just hit it yourself, lad. Go on, Maxi.
Hit it.
No.
No.
Too many players aren't. Oh, that was a good ball.
Great ball. Put it
Murphy's whipped it in.
Get it!
Get it in! Joey Willock! Get it, Joey! Go on, lad!
Joe! G.I. Joe! Yes!
Joey! Fantastic.
Well, I guess we had a good feeling about Joe Linton today.
Oh no, it was Joe Willock. It's Joe Willock.
No,
Sorry, guys.
I
was saying Joey needed Joe Willock. Sorry. Confusing everyone.
We're just talking about.
I guess that transfer has gone up by 2 million again.
Yeah.
Every goal now is 2 million.
Joe Willock, fantastic. I'm glad you threw it now. So John Joe Shelby hits a really cute ball, actually. Joe Linton tries to take the man on, doesn't work. St. Maximin runs across the box. He's going nowhere. Plays a fantastic ball outside to Jacob Murphy, who whips the ball in, floating up. Joe Willock. Fantastic. Great header. He really gets up well for that. He really gets up well.
Our best player this season is the one we loaned in from Arsenal.
Yeah.
I was going to add as well, Babbo. Joe Willock has scored more goals than the entire Arsenal midfield this season.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Damn stat. He's got to be better than anything they've got, surely.
And then want to get him for 20 mil?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere near 20 mil now.
No.
No.
Just before half time, guys. Half time.
Yeah. They'll be asking for 30 million, I reckon, Arsenal.
Why? Like, one of the things I was thinking about this entire takeover, I'm just like, if they won't let you go, because just buy stocks in the club. Buy a controlling stock in the club. You don't own it. You're just a majority shareholder and get all these things done.
But we're going on about the new owners. But do you think they were realistic? Do you think they would actually go for Willock? Because I think they could. I mean, there's talk about them going for better players, aren't they? I don't know if they would go. They would go for him.
I am very scared of any rich owner that will just come in and want to just buy solutions to everything. Because that would destroy the soul of the club. Yeah. That's the only thing I'm worried about with takeovers. I'm like, don't just come in. Like, look at all the international owners of this like large Premier League clubs who decided, oh, we're just gonna make a league of our own, and then the entire country went insane. And I'm like, they are not from here. They do not have the same tight-knit relationship with the club. If they own it, they can do whatever they want with their business, right? So I'm like, we should not encourage stuff like that. But I'm hoping that it's a different thing with the PIF. But
you can see why Harry Kane's desperate to leave Spurs, can't you?
Here's the main man. How you doing, Pete?
Good timing, right?
Good boys. I'm even better now.
Good timing. Good timing.
Yeah, get it. To be fair,
he was waiting for that goal before he came on. He was like,
no. I've been watching you guys for the first half because I've only just got the little one to sleep, so I've been listening to you guys and watching the game. So fantastic way to finish that first half, without a doubt.
6-6, isn't it now? Unbelievable, isn't it?
He's the youngest Premier League player to score 6 straight.
Did
21 years old.
I know. How many goals did Wijnaldum score for us? Because he was in that. He played in that similar position. I was going to say. Yeah.
Not good.
And he scored 4 in one game. Don't forget.
Yeah.
4 in one game. Don't forget.
And full season as well.
Yeah.
He's done this in less than 6 months.
I think it'd be criminal if they didn't at least try to buy him. I know. It all depends, doesn't it? Who the owner's going to be like, but I keep saying it. Arsenal are not going to want to sort of back down from anything 25-30 million, in my opinion. They'll be looking to get him in their team next season, I think, the way he's been playing.
I mean, to be fair, who does Arsenal have in their midfield that's a comparable person to that?
That's what I'm saying.
Probably Smith now. Probably.
Yeah.
You know what, guys?
Yeah.
So,
I don't think Arsenal want him. I actually think that they're happy to sell him this summer because
I am very confused by that.
Arsenal are that type of team where they believe that they can attract the absolute European and world's best, and they will look at him. We look at him as a 21-year-old English centre midfielder who is extremely talented and is flourishing in this team. Arsenal will look at, right, where can we cash in on him to get a better player at 25, 26 that's going to instantly improve our team. See, they haven't got the foresight is what you would expect. Now, any other team would be seeing his performances and be saying, straight up, Arteta would have, or the manager of whatever club would have already said by now, he's coming back to us.
Yeah.
And and Man United were very clear on it last summer that they were having Dean Henderson back. And they didn't make no bones about it. He had a great season at Sheffield United. But they said straight away, he's coming back to us. And that was that. Yeah. They also haven't said that, which means if also haven't said that already in the way in which he's playing, and he's playing way and above better than any of their midfielders, that says to me they don't want to keep him. And to be fair, if you're listening to the Arsenal fans, there's not a lot of Arsenal fans that are particularly keen on keeping him either. And you know what? I don't think he's going to cost 20, 30 million. I honestly think that I think we could get him for 15, 17 million. I honestly do think we could get him for that type of money. And if we can, whoever it is that's owning this club needs to get that money out and pay it straight up.
Snap it up. Yeah.
Oh my God, we're threatening them at gunpoint now. You better get that 17 million out.
If you go back a couple of weeks and you listen to the Athletic podcast the week that we played Arsenal, they have the Arsenal's beat writer on, and the way that she explained it, he's nowhere near their first team, and she didn't see a future for him at the club, no matter how well he's doing, what he's turning heads at Newcastle. So I think we get him in, and with Arsenal's, I've always said with Arsenal's sort of financial woes that they might be amenable to a installment deal, so they get like $5 million a year for the next 5 years. You know,
if we're not going to buy it, you look at the changes that are happening at Crystal Palace this season. They're looking to bring like sort of young players through. I think this season, in the transfer window, and I can definitely see them going for him. Someone like Palace or West Ham or something like that. If we're not going to stop the money off them.
Not for me. You know what? Palace a couple of years ago, yes. But have you seen their free transfer list of their players that are leaving?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Palace?
All of their better players are leaving apart from Wilfred Zaha. So where you would see them as an attractive option, I mean, we've got the jump on everybody. He's already moved to Newcastle. He's settled in the city. He enjoys being there. You can tell. I don't know if anyone saw the Sky interview with the quiz with him and Callum Wilson. The way he talks about the players, the way he talks about St. Maximin, the way he talks about Wilson, the way he talks about some of our better players in our team, you can tell he enjoys playing in and around them. The fact that him and St. Maximin in this first half have linked up constantly playing around each other. There's a connection there already. That for me is already a winner in itself. So all you have to do is stump the money up, because I think he'd be ready to sign on the deadline. We stump the money up now and say, right, this is what we're willing to pay. This is what we want to do. Let's get it done. I think Arsenal do the deal.
Yeah, I hope you're right, Pete. I really hope you're right. And do you know what, Pete? I wanted to ask you this question as well. Well, in fact, Daz, I'm sure you'll agree. We'd be interested to hear Pete's view on this as well. But you know, before we were talking about Jetro Willems, who's been linked back with the club, and I was saying earlier that I'd certainly take a chance on him, and mainly as well because of that relationship he's got with Maxi, and it's similar to what you've just been talking about in the relationship that. The relationship that Joe Willock's clearly got with Maxi as well. And I think if we try and like just build that hub of players, I mean, Maxi's talked as well about Callum Wilson, hasn't he? I think if you get that core of players who all like playing with each other, enjoy playing with each other, it'll just create a better atmosphere on the pitch. What you reckon, Pete?
They are all technically gifted players.
Yeah.
And I'll throw Zetro Williams into that, because I tell you what, yes, there's an argument that he's not very defensive for a fullback or a wing back, whatever you call it. But I tell you what, he is technically very, very gifted. And technically gifted players like-minded, technically gifted players. And that's why Zetro Williams and St. Maximin got on really well. And I think you put Joe Willock into that and they all connect. It all connects. Now, this is going to be the big thing, because I actually think that Zetro Williams will come in on a free. And I actually think Matt Ritchie will leave. And I think we're going to lose a lot of leadership in losing him, right? But I tell you what we'll get on that left-hand side is we'll get some technical quality, we'll get an injection of pace, and we'll get an injection of creativity. Now, Matt Ritchie's creative anyway, but you're going to get that. And what you're getting more than anything is a younger player. He's 27, 28 years old. He's got at least another 3-4 good years. Yes, he's had his injury problems, but I think on a free transfer, it's not even a risk, in my opinion. I think it's a good deal. And who better for Jamal Lewis to learn from than Zetro Williams? Absolutely. Actually, he's the guy that's going to come in and replace him, particularly if we're playing the 3-5-2. You know, they're going to be fighting it out for that position. And who better to learn off that left wing back than Zetro Williams. So I think it's a done deal. I would love Matt Ritchie to stay, because I think, you know, Steve talked about him potentially filling in as a centre midfielder. He could equally play just as well on the right wing back role. Matt Ritchie could for a couple of years. There's still a role for him at the club. I've got no doubt about it at all. And his leadership skills are there for all to be seen. But I do think that's going to be the natural progression. I think Ritchie's going to go, and I think Zetro will come in, and I think it's the right deal to do. We need to get someone like Zetro Williams in. He should have never left the club in the first place. He should have been signed in the summer regardless. We should have shown faith in him by signing him anyway, like we did with Hatem Ben Arfa when he broke his leg. We still signed him in January, even though we went back to the end of the season. I think we need to do that. We should have done the same with Zetro, but I'll be looking forward to seeing him back in the summer.
Yeah, you're on mute, Daz. You're on mute, mate.
I even muted myself. Yeah, sorry. I muted everybody so we could all get a chance to speak, is what I was going to say. So, yeah, let's go around the house, and we'll go to Richie first. What's your thoughts on the game so far, Richie? Would you make any changes? If there are changes, what time do you think they'll come at? I think we know the answer to that already. And general opinion of anything that's been said.
I think that regards to especially the second half of the first half, I think we've been more the dominant side. I think the telling stat that actually came out, which I was really impressed with, we've actually had 69% possession at one stage in the first half. which is something we're not used to. But against teams like this, is we should be having that sort of possession anyway. I think the goal was absolutely fantastic. The through ball by ESM to split that left-hand side of the defence open was just immense. It took about 3 or 4 players out of the game. And the lovely ball by Murphy just to lay it up at the back post for Willock to attack it. It was a great header. Just going back to some of the topics that you've just been discussing. Regards Willems, I think it's a complete no-brainer. We're talking about a Dutch international who, when we played for I thought he had a good first half of the season until he got the injury, unfortunately. I think one of the other things we've got to bear in mind as well is the relationship he's got with ESM. With ESM turning around saying that he's thinking that our team's Newcastle gonna match his ambition going forward. Bringing someone like Willems back is going to help him with that. Bringing back his good mate, it's going to really, really help. And the quality he can bring with. We saw some of the goals he had. The goal, probably one of our goals of the season last year when he scored the opener at Anfield last year was a hell of a finish last year. So I think, especially getting him in on a free, I think it's just an absolute no-brainer. Regarding when we talked about Ryan Fraser before, for me, I think Ryan Fraser's been played out of position when he has played. I don't think we've seen our best attacking foursome on the pitch at the same time. I think me and Chris in particular, I think even Peter agreed with this at one point at the start of the season. I think in an ideal world, our best four is Wilson up top by himself, and the back, ASM, Almiron, and Fraser probably is the 3 behind him, and have, I think there's only Shearer and Sutton who had more assists than Wilson and Fraser when they were at Bournemouth a couple of years ago. So there's that chemistry there, and you got to look at the bad man management. Apart from Bruce, for regards to the way he's looked after Fraser. Sometimes he's had Fraser on the pitch and he's had no target man in the box, and then he was bringing the target man on, and Fraser was getting subbed off as the replacement. So I don't think he's been looked after very well. Now, I actually believe that with Fraser, I think hopefully he'll have a good Euros, and then what will happen is I think he'll be like a new signing for us next year. But personally,
interesting, Richie. Aloid, we'll go to you next, and there's a question for you, Aloid, as well, in the comments. First of all, where did you go to? Where did you travel earlier? Everyone's asking. You did an Annika Rice.
Actually, I didn't know it was Rice, but I was actually with my son training. He just joined a football club, so hopefully he will play for Newcastle someday.
Sign him up.
For the game, it was four. Actually, I like what I saw. 4 great opportunities. One or two of them save. Great save from Ramsdale, goalkeeper of Sheffield, and one Joelinton. I don't know. And if he's a defender, I will give him some slack. But I don't know why on the top of his head. And it was a great cross from Jacob Murphy. It can't be play like that. Anyway. And the 4th is from Willock, and I wish if Steve Bruce just whisper to Willock and to tell him just don't score, just play, don't play very good, just to not make Arsenal increase the money of the signing. So yeah. Thanks, that's my.
Kieran, we'll go to you next. Thoughts, Anthony, you'd like to share?
Interesting. Just they brought Dwight Gale on, and then there's still the contract thing still rumbling along with him. I'm just wondering if they're considering withdrawing it, because nothing else has been sort of said about it, have they? I don't know if anyone knows anything. It wouldn't bother me if they did get rid of him, because I think we can get. I know Pete doesn't rate him, but I think we can get a better. I think we can get a better player, in my opinion.
I think it's one of them. I think we did it with Kieran Clark earlier on in the season, where the deal was already been signed, but it's just not been announced yet. I think they're just waiting. I think they're doing that with Jacob Murphy, Dwight Gale, and Paul Dummett has been talked about as well. Is those deals being done? And I think we haven't heard anything about it, but it's one of them that will probably be saved for the summer. or certainly after the season, just after the season's finished, that they'll announce it. But you're right, Kieran. I don't see Dwight Gale as part of this squad. You know, if he was the player that we all talk about and that we seen a few years ago, he'd have been playing a lot more minutes than he's been playing right now. I just don't see it. I don't see that when we haven't got Callum Wilson, that he's the guy that we think, right, let's go to him. He's the guy that can pick up the goals for us. He barely scores as it is. We need something else. I think someone in the chat, I think it might have been Life Goals, that mentioned Brewster at a knockdown price. He wouldn't be a bad young striker to have. I thought it was a real bad deal that Sheffield United paid so much money for him as a mainline striker, because he'd not even kicked a ball in the Premier League. But yet they hold all their hopes on him being the main man to keep them safe. But actually, as a secondary striker to bed his way into Premier League football, it wouldn't be a bad shout if you got him at the right deal. I certainly wouldn't be paying any more than 10 million for him, because I don't think he hasn't shown that price tag. He's certainly not £23 million worth. But you know, it's that sort of player that we need to be looking at, that's going to be, you know, knocking on the door, but knows that Callum Wilson is the number 9.
It's just we should be moving these. I mean, just to think we've got half of these players that got us out of the Championship still in this team. It's just like, where's the ambition? You know what I mean? There should be these players should be moved on by now.
I agree.
Do you know what? Just to add on what Pete's just said there, Kevin. I think the reason Gale's been given a new contract, and I certainly hope it's the reason Gale's been given a new contract, is because it will then protect his value. I say he's been given a 2 or 3 year contract. He's gone in 6 months. He's got to be, and you can easily get 10-15 million for him from a Championship club, easy. So I'm hoping that the reason they've signed him onto a new contract is to protect his value. In terms of what Pete's just said then about Brewster, that's really interesting. And to be honest, I mean, whoever's dealing with the transfers at Liverpool deserves a medal, because they did the same the year before with Dominic Solanke. He's hardly kicked the ball, and then they sold him for 20 odd million again, and that was to Bournemouth. And unfortunately, Bournemouth and Sheffield United have been stung there, because both clubs have ended up going down, and Liverpool have ended up with a lot of money. Same. Oh, sorry. Go on, Daz. Go on, mate.
Yeah, no, I just want to give Martin a chance, and let's put Martin on the big screen unmute yourself, Martin, and tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, Daz, don't ever put me back in the corner. That's not my position. That's where Chris A goes. So if you're going to run this, run it right.
And thanks, Martin, for coming on. So that was Martin. It was worth it. It was worth it. And we'll see Martin again next season.
That's the best thing he said. That's the best thing he said in months.
When I have the controls, don't give me cheek. Have you learned your lesson, Martin?
No, I'm surprised you're allowed to do it without me helping you. But anyway, so I was late in, and then I had I was trying to get a bit of dinner, but I reverted to beer instead. So I wasn't really watching matches on the background. Look, Willock scored again, took his goal, 6 in 6. Youngest player ever to do so. I thought the first 20 minutes, I thought we were a bit shite, to be honest, from what I've seen. Sheffield should have scored, to be fair. The ball across to McGoldrick, he should have put that away. But look, nothing we don't see in the Irish team when he plays over here. So nothing new. Thought certainly the kind of 25 into the end of the first half, obviously some maximum playing really well. Willock took the goal. Shelby unlucky not to score with the header. Joelinton had a couple of chances, but obviously gone off with an injury. But look, we should be beating these easily, I think. So we need to step up a gear. There's another gear in us yet. I don't think we're really giving it everything we could do. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, sorry I was late on, Daz. I know I said I'd be on. So
don't worry, we'll dock your wages. It's okay.
Yeah, Chris Hall's put it on. Lincoln have beaten Sunderland, just for those that do want it.
Yes. Sorry, Babbo. Sorry about that, Babbo.
No derbies for a while then.
Go.
That's what I said earlier on. They're going to be in trouble, Sunderland. They're going to be in that league for a long time. If they don't get out of it this year, if they don't get out of it this year.
Kieran, I have a question for you. You pull the curtains in your house to make it extra dark, do you?
Yeah. It's just light in this house. It's crap. Rubbish.
Dangerous free kick for Sheffield United here, lads. Right on the edge of the box.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure about Kieran's curtains. I just thought he was like using a sunbed or something. Every week he comes on. Not sure what the fuck was going on with him.
Yeah, it's dangerous, this free kick, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Judy agrees.
Yeah, so they're just lining it up now, Daz. I know you're a little bit behind, mate, on the Sky Go. So they're just lining it up.
I'm
He's
a day
sorting the
behind.
wall. Yeah, he's just sorting the wall out. Matt Ritchie's arguing as usual, which you'll love to see. You'll love to see it. Matt Ritchie's screaming at the ref. Okay, so everyone's lined up. We've got a pretty much full wall, apart from Maxi.
Looks a goal this night, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh my god!
Oh,
it's okay. McGoldrick was taken. That was never going anywhere.
If you'd said that, we wouldn't have got worried.
Yeah, go kick.
Just for those that do want to know, Tom Hopper scored for Lincoln.
Okay.
52nd minute. So Lincoln won, Sunderland 0.
Shelby has a habit of giving away bad free kicks. Bad.
Just clumsy. He's just incredibly
clumsy.
Do you think you'll see?
I've not met someone who can be consistently clumsy in front of our own box.
Go on, Daz. What were you going to say?
See him, Chris Hall. Do you think we'll get to see Big Andy?
I hope so. I'm counting down the clock now, Daz. I don't know whether I think the fact that Gale's come on doesn't look good for Big Andy. But yeah, I hope we see him.
Now I get to see the free kick. That's how far behind I am.
Do you think that was a free kick?
I thought that was a free kick. But
I thought it was a free kick.
He did make a move of it, didn't he?
That's twice now that Miggy's gone down and the referee's just gone no. So I think the referee's marked Miggy's card now.
Oh, he just fell through the stand there.
They were trying to get the ball and they just fell forward.
He just fell forward.
Yeah, the referee's having a word with Miggy now, basically telling him I'm not having it.
That's a foul. That's a foul. Watch the back leg of the Sheffield player.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a foul.
Okay.
Hits him.
Yeah.
That's a foul, lads.
Yeah.
Someone's got commentary on. Who's got commentary on?
It's been a scrappy start to the second half, this, hasn't it? Newcastle haven't really got going. And Sheffield United are slowly getting into it. Obviously, they've had that dangerous free kick there, but we really need some of our big players to step up here because we don't want to let them back in. We really don't. We need that second goal.
It's kind of like a carbon copy of the first half. We started really strong and quick, and then we kind of gave them a little bit of hope in the second half. So, like you said, Chris, we get a second goal in this game. This game's done.
It's good night, God bless.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, Maxi. Oh, Maxi.
Oh. Sorry.
It's just being played. You know what? It's being played at a far slower pace than I thought it would. I'm not seeing the urgency. Especially with the fans being back. I just didn't think Newcastle would be so relaxed. I thought there'd be a lot of intensity, and I'm just not seeing it.
I think that a little bit. Go on, sorry.
We're just faffing around the ball at the back here without really just bringing it on ourselves every day.
Yeah.
We just don't look comfortable. I mean, we're just going all the way back now.
Yeah.
The amount of abuse you get Kieran here.
I don't think he has.
Is Kieran a vampire? That's the questions that are coming through, Kieran.
No, I don't think so.
I love the fact, Kieran, that you said that you just don't get any light in your house, but yet you shut the curtains, so you stopped even more light.
It's the sun. The sun's beaming right on
Oh
the
my
computer.
God, Kieran! Yes,
I had
how
to shut it.
bad it is that the sun is coming through your window.
No, you wouldn't be able to see my. You wouldn't be able to see my.
Well, Maxi. Oh.
So look at that.
Yeah,
the second goal coming. These are shite.
Yeah.
You can see that problem though. They can't score goals, and they can't. I mean, they're playing out from the back as well. They're just.
It's a mentality problem. They can't score goals. We saw them against City. It's a mentality problem.
Do you think they'll come straight back up?
No.
I don't think they will.
No, they shouldn't have got rid of Wilder.
They had something so unique with Chris Wilder, the way in which he set them up, the philosophy, in the way in which they played, it made them so unique to play against, which is why they were so good last season. And I do think if we'd have got the signings that he wanted, I think it could have been even better. But it's the same, like, it'll be the same with the likes of, on the flip side, with someone like Jurgen Klopp. When he leaves Liverpool, their philosophy and way of playing will go with him, because he takes it everywhere he goes, and that's what Wilder brings to the managerial position. So it's such a contrast. It's such a contrast of what you've seen and how you've seen Sheffield United play last season to how they're playing right now. It's so different.
They've wasted 25 million quid on that Brewster. I mean, he hasn't had a look in, has he?
Does everyone think that Liverpool will make the top four? Will they get the last champion?
I do. I think they will. They've got 2 games in hand. I think they'll win both of them.
I think so.
Leicester do it again, aren't they? They're going to bottle it like last year.
The owner of Sheffield, Prince Abdullah, he said in the last interview in Saudi Arabia, he said he expects that they will coming back next season, because there is a problem with the clubs in Championship regarding financially, because the fans not attending the games. So he believe the parachute system will help them to go back soon, next season, just to make a money.
Well, you look at the teams that come up this year, they'll probably try and copy them, won't they? Keep the core players and lots of passion and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, next year I feel like Ivan Toney is going to
Maxi, go on, take it on. Go on, Maxi. Oh, good save.
You did well.
Did well. Fair enough.
Who would you bring on now, lads, to change it up? Looking at the squad.
Carl.
Martin, we'll go with you first.
Oh God. I'd probably push Murphy up a fraction, and I'd bring Lewis on. Maybe push Murphy a bit further forward, maybe.
Okay.
That'll be mine. Bring Shelby on for injury. Bring Carroll on for injury time, just to give him his swan song.
Yeah, 10 minutes run out. Kieran, what would you do?
I'll definitely. Might as well bring Lewis on. This kind of game where probably just bring him on. Like, we might see his potential here if he has got some. And like you said, bring Murphy in a more forward position and change from 5 to 4 at the back.
Yeah. See Matty on the bench as well. An option. Richie, what would you do? Switch it up.
I think Carroll deserves a little swan at some point at the end. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind liking to see Matty Longstaff on give a run out for this season. Do you know what I mean? He's been pretty much waylaid by Bruce all season. I would like to give him a run out as well. So that's what I would do. But obviously, we'll have to see what happens.
Chris, Andy Carroll Hall, your thoughts?
Get on, Dion, get him on. Now, I would like to see Andy Carroll come on, but I suppose in terms of the game and what I think the game needs, I'd love to see Matty come on, Matty Longstaff or Sean Longstaff. I just feel, dare I say it, maybe even a change in shape. Maybe just go forward at the back and maybe give them a few more problems going forwards. I mean, I know that, excuse me, I know the 5 at the back is our preferred method, but I really, with this attacking line that Sheffield United have got, I really just don't see the need in it. Maybe even take Kraft off, go forward at the back, and stick an extra man in midfield, whether that be Matty or Sean. That's probably what I'd do. But we do feel it. It does still feel really comfortable. But I just don't want us to shoot ourselves in the foot because we've got 3 points in the bag here. If we get that second goal, it's done. So why not just push on, get the second goal, and get comfortable? Because the longer that we remain at 1-0, the worse it is. Oh, we've got a good attack here, Gale. Oh, Gale, that's shocking.
See what I mean about Gale?
We were 3-on-2 then. 3-on-2,
Yeah.
should have took advantage.
This is the championship team. This is the championship team, and you can't even score against them.
Donald, what would you do to switch it up? As long as we don't bring on Henrik, I don't want to see him on the pitch.
Yeah, well, Hendrick's a definite no. I would, as I say, out the Longstaff brothers, bring Sean on, middle of the park, so he can add a bit of composure on the ball. And, he can pick a pass, bring him on. And then maybe he's also to add the extra legs on, swap one of the fullbacks, bring Lewis on, so get him bombing up and down, see how he can, so to test the Sheffield United defence out a bit. So that would be a couple of changes I'd have in mind on that.
Cheers, Donald. Alois, would you change it or stick or twist?
For me, I would, but I think Steve Bruce, he's happy with this. He doing a constant performance with a counter-attack plan. I think this is maybe 4th or 5th game, same performance, same tactics, and the players gets it, no matter who plays. So I don't think he will change. Maybe we'll see Carroll against Fulham. I think he will not change. Doesn't look like he will just change the game for what? Because now I can see Sheffield are tired and they are like exhausted, or maybe they have no not encouraging to continue the game. That feeling, they are getting regulated. So I think Newcastle will score a second goal as the players, and no change I expect.
Cheers, Alois. Chris A, what would you do?
I would bring on both Longstaffs. I would look. Oh. Yeah, I'd bring on Sean and Matty. I would take off Shelby and Almiron, and give the lads a chance, the brothers, a chance to play together.
Agree.
Because I think that Matty does well with Sean, alongside Sean. You've got to see him come on. I'm not really getting anything from Almiron. I mean, I know he does a lot of running and so yeah. Someone's talking. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'd bring on both the Longstaff brothers. I'd sit Shelby, not getting anything from him, and Almiron, not really getting anything from him either. And maybe change one of the back line. I bring Manquillo on for. Damn it! Oh yeah.
Cheers, Chris A. Babo, what would you do?
Same thing as Chris A, but I'm gonna move Richie from defense and go forward the back.
What's he doing?
He doesn't look interested, does
He can't even play first ball. 2 players bursting through the middle and he can't find one.
Yeah, I think just put.
Sorry, Babo. Back to you again.
Now I'll just bring on Matty and Sean and move Richie in, so you have a 4-3-3, and go forward the back and just start stretching the entire game. Because right now we've been playing back too much and back and side, and we have runners, so we might as well do that.
Cheers, Babo. Pete, apart from togging out yourself and running on the pitch, what would you do?
You know what? I'd take Shelby off and get either Matty or Sean on. Everywhere else on the pitch, unless someone is absolutely exhausted, I wouldn't really make any changes, because the way we're just breaking on them time after time after time, the second goal will come at some point. And Shelby's the most likeliest to make a mistake. He's already made a few real loose passes and give the ball away unnecessarily in the middle of the pitch. If I was going to take anyone off up front, I'd take Dwight Gale off. And get him back off the pitch.
Yeah.
The couple of breaks that we've had, when you've got Almiron and St. Maximin and Willett running at pace, you got Murphy on the far side running at pace. You give the ball to Gale and he just slows everything down. So I'd rather have someone like Carroll up front where you can just stick him in the centre and you can just try and get on anything that goes into the box. And I'd just have him doing that for the last 15, 20 minutes. So if I was going to make any changes, it would be those two. Get Carroll or one of the long staffs on for Shelby and Gale.
It's a funny one with Gale, isn't it? Because he was pretty good in lockdown last year, wasn't he? When he was one of our informed centre forward, wasn't he? He scored 3
good games. It had 2 good games. It was a turn in form, which was positive, and he's scoring goals more consistently. But it's the same with Dwight Gale. There's always an injury around the corner. There's always a down in attitude. You know, he's not working or pressing the way that other players are. He's just ready to move on. We're ready to move on.
Here's Bruce coming on now. Watch him come on and score after he slagged him off.
First Premier League goal he'll come and score this. That's really typical, isn't it? You can't be any worse than Gale, right?
For me, the legs in midfield again. If you look at the ball there, you know, a couple of minutes before that, Will have got the ball straight under his leg and a misplayed pass. Midfield looks tired again. Shelby's legs are gone. Willock looks tired. We've got no energy through midfield. Maxi and Almiron are running one way or the other. And then, as you said, Gale gets it. The play slows up. And those that are running through midfield are already knackered and are stopping on the heels. So it would make more sense to get somebody like Sean on or Matty on to re-energize the midfield. He's never gonna take Shelby off. So there's no point in even suggesting
we
Shelby.
all know he's gonna bring on
That's
Henry.
not gonna happen. So he won't take off. So bring on Matty and put a bit of pace back into midfield.
I'll go with Julie's suggestion.
John McQueen.
Bring the Baldy lass on. That was Julie's suggestion.
Can't see there's anything wrong with St. Maximin here. That challenge, I mean,
know.
I love St. Maximin, but he does this every single game, whether it's his way of getting a little breather or something. I mean, I could be wrong here, but
there's nothing in that. He's just doing it. Isn't he? He does it every time. He just tries to get himself out of trouble. He's twisting his knee.
It looked like he slipped.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good there, mind.
he does this.
He does get some injuries, doesn't he?
And then he hobbles, and then 10 minutes later he's flying around the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 70 million pound player.
Remember the Brighton game last year? He done it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Get up, man, you soft tart.
Now's the time to make the changes.
Yeah.
Hendrick is coming on.
No.
Hendrick is coming on.
That's 2 strikes.
You
said you want Sunderland to get promoted and you want to bring Henrik on.
If there's anything
You're
I've
out.
learned from, if I've learned anything from Bruce, that's Bruce's tactic. When you expect him to put on someone to freshen up the game, it's like, Hendrik, come over here. I need you to piss some people off.
That can't have been an injury, that.
No.
Look at him.
Oh, he wants off. He wants off.
He wants off.
He wants off.
Yeah. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want to be part of it.
You know
Don't
what?
see Janola doing that.
No. You know what? I actually think he's pulled his calf as he slipped. So if you look, he gets clipped, and I don't think that's what he's injured for. But if you look, I think it's
the back foot goes backwards, his leading leg goes back on him,
and he goes. And as soon as that happens, he goes down. So I think he's a tweak, or it's a pull.
Could have just pulled the ligaments on the back of the knee, Pete.
Yeah.
Maybe, but he was holding his calf, so I just assumed that because he's holding it, that's the injured area. But you could be right.
See that Ezzy for Crystal Palace is out till next year, and he's done a similar injury. Achilles.
He's another one that's been a waste of space as well.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Sean. Here's another box-to-box midfielder with a massive engine coming on. Oh, no, it's not Sean.
We're
Okay,
speechless.
switches up on the 17th minute.
It's got one more written all over this, isn't it?
Yeah, we need another.
Richie, what are you drinking? Your wild berries again, are you?
I think the Bravka
No,
has
mate,
had
it's
one of the best games ever.
It's a tropical mixed fruit cider.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
You'll be putting
Couple bit.
plastic fruit on your sideboard in the hallway next. You will.
And I have a question for Chris A. What was on the pizza?
I'm a simple when it comes to pizza, I just always go with pepperoni.
Okay,
Simple
I
thing.
thought you were about to say something crazy like pineapple and anchovies or something.
No, God, no. No, it's like what do they call here? Like American hot minus the hot.
Oh, ain't got no Franks on it.
No, I mean sometimes I'm good for like a 4 cheese, but I don't like a lot of veggies or something on my pizza.
So with everyone at the match, the 10,000 at the match, are they getting their value for money? Are they going to be happy with what they've seen today?
Not really.
Oh, lovely,
No.
Joe.
Go on, Willie.
Joe Willock, fantastic.
There's no one there.
Go on, Miggy.
Oh,
Go on,
sure.
Miggy. It's it.
Oh,
Oh, he should have got himself.
You can't shoot that.
Oh, Jesus!
You ain't
Come
got
on.
the confidence. No confidence.
That's what it is.
Yeah, wasn't that like back to Almiron when he first started? He would just always pass
Yeah.
right in front
Yeah.
of goal. He never really shot. I feel like he's
Like in that
regressed.
position, just put your laces through it, man. It could go
Yeah.
anywhere, deflection or
Yeah.
anything.
I've not seen it, but
up, it won't pass.
Go on, Daz.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I've not seen the. I won't see it for another minute, but I bet you he didn't put enough power in it because that's always his
There
end
was
product.
enough power in it, cut across goal,
Was it?
but like wrong decision. Totally wrong
Yeah.
decision.
Should have took a shot.
Yeah. It's just like confidence, isn't it?
Why didn't he not come in slightly on the right and just curl it?
They just invite pressure.
Sheffield United are playing a really high line now. They're really going for it. You can see they've moved 10, 15 yards further up the pitch.
Yeah.
So the likes of Gale and Almiron should be able to nick him behind.
They should just be sitting on the back of that line.
Yeah.
And holding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that now.
Here we go. Here's Joe. Here's Joe Willock.
Go on. Cut back
Tell
in.
you what, Joe Linton's been quiet, hasn't he?
Is he still on?
Oh,
Yeah, he's still on. You wouldn't know it.
He's not. He's gone. He's off.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably can't hear him from the bench, Chris. That's what it is. I tell you what, Chris Kamara strikes again. Doesn't he? What do you mean? There's made a substitution? I didn't see it.
I'm still keeping
If
on
only
these
I had
scores.
this.
Still keeping on them.
Yeah, there he is. Chris Hall Kamara strikes again.
Yeah, Willock's injured in,
You wouldn't let me down, Chris. I get the chance to use that.
Yeah. Bruce doesn't look happy. Bruce having a little moan at someone there.
He's telling Miggy to shoot next time. That's what he said to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Shut off. Could be 2-0 now. Wrapped up. So Arsenal 1-0 up, lads. Arsenal 1-0 up.
Who scored?
I'm still waiting. It's literally just come through now. Oh, Nicholas Pepe.
1-0.
Pepe.
Pepe, oh,
wait,
72 million.
Palace, That's
One
good.
of the most expensive average players I've ever seen.
And it's still Lincoln 1, Sunderland 0. 75 minutes or so played.
Yeah.
That'll be a draw.
Not bad shot, Mark.
The draw specialist.
Oh, it's 2-0 Lincoln. 2-0 Lincoln.
2-0.
2-0.
Oh,
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
That's them done, isn't it? You reckon?
They need the away goal. They need the away goal. Oh,
that's the lucky penny, Chris. Chris, hey, eh?
Should have put Almir on there.
Where is the
Lost
penny?
it.
Oh no!
He's lost it.
Doesn't tell you.
It's back down the back of the couch.
Oh shit!
You know, ironically, I had this weird ass dream that Newcastle got like Massimo Allegri as manager, and I was like, even in my dream, I was like, that's not gonna happen. Like, no.
Come on, lads.
I lost.
I'll take him, Pablo. I'll take him.
I'd rather have Chris Wilder.
Chris Hall.
Yeah, this is got one.
Sorry, Rich. Go on, mate. Sorry, Rich.
You're going to nick a goal here, aren't
You know why Joe Linton actually went off, don't you? Because he realised the Liverpool keeper can head the ball better than him.
Oh, I was watching that live. I was like, what? How?
Oh, that's
that could only happen to Liverpool. I've said that loads of times. And do you know what? I know so many Liverpool fans who constantly say to me how unlucky Liverpool are. And then I was talking to them the other night, my mate, saying that would only happen to Liverpool. Any other keeper in the last 30 seconds, it wasn't even 30 seconds, I think it was 10 seconds, last 10 seconds of the game, and then their keeper runs forward and delivers this fantastic header, and they go and win just when they need to. Happens all the time. All the time.
For me, Man United has always happened with.
Yeah, Man U as well. Man U, Liverpool.
Yeah.
It was there the whole time. It was just behind my laptop.
I tell you one thing, Daz. Shelby has done absolutely nothing this half. Nothing.
Ponderous. Passion journey.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise.
He has his 1 every 10 games, and that's it.
Yeah. Shelby's never had to fight for his place. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's you know. And
he should take his Hollywood passes to the MLS.
Yeah.
He probably will. Give him a year.
Yeah.
Here's your lucky penny, Chris.
They'll love him there.
You go.
Wait, hold on. Oh shit.
Can't find this lucky penny.
No, I have the pennies. I showed you both of them.
The token couch is eating it.
No, I showed you guys both pennies. It was behind the laptop. I'm getting on another kit. Hold on.
Is this Barcelona we're playing or bloody Mighty?
Where is this kit? Oh, maybe it's over here.
Tell you what, Sheffield United are piling the pressure on here. Piling the pressure on. Newcastle just sitting back, defending. And Dwight Gale may as well. There's no actual point to Dwight Gale being on the pitch, if I'm honest. He's kind of hovering.
Yeah.
And the Newcastle players are very tired to perform counter-attack.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
We don't really have any other attackers.
How can we be that tired? How can we be that tired? Like, these are supposedly elite sportsmen.
Well, have you seen?
I know that's a very big word and a slight exaggeration for Newcastle United. But I know Bruce gives them 6 days off. They only train once a week. But like, how is our conditioning so poor?
Yeah.
We
look exhausted. Absolutely exhausted.
I'm 51 and fat, and I could run more than Shelby does.
People are disagreeing with you, Martin.
Shelby is a special man.
Yeah, I don't know. You should be watching the Swedish game. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Shelby's done nothing. Okay, come back on that, lad, and tell me what has Shelby done in the last 40 minutes of this half? What's he actually contributed?
What's he done all season?
He gave the free away on the edge of the box, Mark. That's it.
Yeah.
Huh?
He gave away the free
on the edge of the box. That's it.
That's the only thing I remember him doing.
I don't know. Like midfield's just getting bypassed now. There's Shelby.
He's not even. Shelby's going back. He's not pressing the ball. That's what's annoying. That captain's armband on. You should be, leading by example, pressing that ball, and he's not doing it. No good.
Yeah, it's talking
Well said, Donny. Exactly that.
Yeah, as Roy Keane would say, he's not doing his job. So
Roy Keane was one of Roy Keane, Vieira, like Scott Parker. Those were like captains that when they're on the pitch, you had to work your ass off.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who's that just put up? He's one of the best players we've got.
Oh, yeah.
He's not. He's
Who's that? Zoe Duffy. Okay.
Oh, Pasta.
He's the best.
Oh,
Pasta.
He's one of the best
but
passers of the ball we've got.
He is, but the problem is, Zoe, he does that once or twice every 90 minutes. And sometimes it's not consistent. The problem for me with Shelby is he's too inconsistent, doesn't mark up, and he's lazy when he backtracks. He might run around a lot. Every player can run around a lot, but if you don't achieve anything while you're moving, running around in circles means absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Why are we getting so many injuries for? Dear, man.
Bring on Gillespie.
It's nice to have the Shelbys in the chat tonight.
He's gone as well. Like, what the fuck, lads?
I know. What's going on? God, they've got to sort these facilities out, the training ground.
Yeah.
Bloody joking.
We did talk about this on Loaded Mag when I had me rant about the NUFC medical team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete's been on a few times. I've ranted about this certainly last week when we had Loaded Mag. I criticised the team. So that's what 2, 3, 4 maybe calf and hamstring pulls in within 80 minutes.
Yeah. All you have to do is go back to before Rafa Benitez, the injury record, during Rafa Benitez, the injury record, and then after Rafa Benitez in the injury record. We have, under any other manager in the last 10 years, other than Rafa Benitez, had a horrific list of injuries. It's so bad. We get injuries. I mean, he's barely even done anything. It's like he slipped and received the ball and something's gone. And it's come from nothing yet. Under Rafa Benitez, we had barely any injuries. Certainly no soft tissue injuries, no hamstrings, or very rarely any hamstrings. It's I don't know. I just
it goes back to that piece, as I said on Loaded Mag. Rafa was all over that medical team, knew it was a problem, diagnosed it, sat over them, asked the relevant questions.
Yeah.
The other manager's never done that. Daz made a point the other night when we chatted. We had the same under McLaren. We had it under Fat Sam. We had it under Pardew.
Yeah.
We've had it under Bruce. All those managers that have never taken the time, as Bruce has said, he throws the ball in, they play a little bit of 5-a-side, a bit of knock him out.
Yeah.
It's about the recovery.
Willock's struggling as well.
Yeah.
Willock's struggling.
They're all falling apart.
I can understand him having cramp. To be fair, he's ran around a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No, I think because Rafa Benitez was thinking of the club as.
Is Andy coming on?
Come on, big Andy.
The magical moment's coming. Tearing open your curtains, quick.
Farewell appearance.
What? 7 minutes? 10 minutes?
Do you know what? He deserves so much more than that, in my opinion. I really do. Like, he's got 6 minutes here. I just think it's so poor. I really do. Well done, Joe Willock, by the way.
Well done. Yeah.
Talk us through it, Chris. And Andy's minutes.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, I will. Okay.
This is you in the limelight.
Hey, there's a few people here. Yeah. Oh well, they're giving a standing ovation. I think they're giving a standing ovation to Joe Willock, to be fair. But I'm fully deserved, by the way. Fully deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's Big Andy. He's on the pitch, and I know what I'm going to be doing for the next 6.5 minutes. Big Andy, watch.
Oh my God, Shelby!
Mate, Shelby, man.
There you go.
Thanks, Chris. If there's any Andy moment, we'll be back to you on the big screen.
Cheers, Daz.
So that's you can definitely sit there and you can Andy Panda.
Andy Panda.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Mark? I've said this before, and Pete, you jump on as well, and Rich, I don't know if you heard it, but I was saying before, about if we don't get the takeover, and in terms of players that we'd want to keep, and I said, I've said it all season. If you look back this season at games where Andy Cavill's came on and made an impact, for me, I would take Andy Cavill over Dwight Gale any day of the week. I would want Andy Cavill coming off the bench rather than Dwight Gale, and this performance just typifies it for me. It really does, because Dwight Gale's come on and he's done very little. And at least with Andy Carroll, you know, he absolutely loves the club, and he's one of those players where any defender will not want to play against Andy Carroll. So I don't see the problem in having someone like Andy Carroll, you know, on the bench, because he causes problems, and he's a big problem for defenders, and they don't like playing against him, and he gives you something different.
Yeah.
The thing with Carroll, Chris, is you could have brought him on with 20 minutes to go, stuck him in that central role, and while the legs of the midfield are starting to lapse a bit, at least you could whack a ball up to him,
pump it up,
get some pressure off the midfield, so you don't need to burn the legs and build in behind him with Willock or even Gale playing off him, or even, you know, getting Miggy off of him. Would have worked better than this has done in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, Mart.
Where do you think Andy Carroll ended up going? He doesn't look like he's going to sign a new contract, does it?
Sunderland.
West Brom.
He's going to live with Chris.
Probably West Brom.
He's moving in. He's getting adopted by Chris. Do you know what? In all fairness, if you were going to keep Carroll around the club, I'd love to see him get a position coaching the youngsters and stuff. You know, as a striker coach, because he was when he was in form, when he was at his prime. He's great in the air. He's a great striker of the ball. He knows how to head. So why not, if takeover happens, give him something within the club, looking after the young ones.
It's just unnecessary. So, like, Richie had a couple of options going forward, but instead he looks to go backwards the long way back. And now we've got loads of pressure on us. There's no need for it.
It's Dummett as well. What was Dummett doing there?
Well, Dummett's trying to get out of the way of the ball. Well, it's not his fault. But the ball should have never gone backwards anyway. The ball should only be going forwards at this point.
What's your thoughts on Dummett getting a new 3-year contract? I think he's another one we should be moving on.
100% deserves it.
Definitely.
And to be fair, I was one of those early on in the season that was saying he needed to go because of his injury record, because he barely played for us in over a year. I was thinking, you know what, it's time to leave. But as long as he proves his fitness, he'll always have a place in the squad. Now, is he going to be a starter long term? No. But he's done a job for us in helping us to stay in the league. And I think he'll always have a place for us in the squad. And, you know, you just need to make sure his injury record is sort of at a minimum now. But fully deserved, purely from what he's done since he's come back in. I think he's done really well.
I have another question for you. Murphy, I know you were maybe not dead against, but you were hesitant to give him another contract. Would that opinion change now since he's played for the last number of games?
I think a while ago when you asked me, Daz, I think the one thing I said was he needs to prove himself. Like, if he doesn't prove himself for the rest of this season, then he deserves to get released. But he's done exactly what we wanted him to. He's gone and he's really gone on now. So for me, he fully deserves a new contract. But the issue that you've got, if I was the manager, what I'd be saying to him is that you've earned your contract, but you can't stand still. So your performances have been better, which is why you got your contract. But I want even better performances from you. So this should be spurring him on, if anything. But yeah, he definitely deserves his contract. You know, at the very least, he's a squad player. Which, you know, when he came back off loan, he wasn't even that. He wasn't even getting into the squad. Now he's starting every week. So that's down to his hard work. So fair play to him for that.
And it goes back to the Gale point, Pete. He's a player who other clubs would admire. And if you sign Jacob Murphy up to a new deal, let's say the takeover goes through, let's say that we want to start building and going forwards as a club, you could certainly get, between 8 and 12 million for Murphy, I think. I don't think that's unrealistic.
Yeah. Watford and Southampton are meant to be interested in him earlier. So.
Yeah. I think Palace and 1 or 2 others as well. Yeah, we're looking at him, and you know he's lightning quick, not just with the ball but without the ball. And pace is something that's really sought after in the Premier League at the top level. He just needs to improve on his technique. You know, he's shown his technique with the goal against Wolves for the free kick and the goal against Burnley, but he needs to be more consistent with it. You know, he had a shot in the first half with his left foot, which was horrendous. He just needs to be more consistent overall. If he can do that, then we've got a Premier League player on our hands.
Yeah, yeah. And to touch on your Dummett point as well, Pete, you know, you need steady eddies in the team. And again, Dummett, local lads, and I don't like to always use that, but he wants to be here and he does a job for you. Yeah, he's not outstanding. He's not gonna be a 9, 10 out of 10 every week, but you're gonna get a solid performance out of him. And you know, also he's useful, isn't he? He can play left back, centre back, and he always does a job for you. He never shakes and he never shies away from a challenge. He gets stuck in, and that's all you want.
100%. I mean, he's never been the quickest, but actually he's built a Premier League career on not having to rely on pace. His positional play has been outstanding at times, but for me, in the last year and a half, the only issue I've had is with his injury record, and the fact that he's getting closer to 30. I had concerns that his injury record was only going to get worse. Actually, since he's come back and got back in the team, he's stayed fit. He looks strong. Defensively, in that 3, he's been very, very good. He's had an excellent end to the season. But as I said,
Pete froze.
Maybe you didn't say that, Pete.
We may never know what Pete was going to say. But hopefully,
let's ask the viewers what was Pete going to say.
Yes, put your answer in the comments now.
What was Pete going to say? It can be anything you like.
And while we're waiting for Pete to rejoin us, it's still 2-0 for the mighty Lincoln City.
Yeah, into 3 minutes injury time.
Go on.
Yeah.
An away goal changes it. If Sunderland can nick a goal, it doesn't look such a bad result. But they really need that goal.
Yeah, Everton still 1-0 up against Wolves.
That's
Spurs
full time, mate.
are getting beat. Yeah, that's full time. Spurs are getting beat off Villa 2-1 in injury time, and it's half time. Palace against Arsenal. Arsenal are 1 up.
Kane's got 1 foot out the door, hasn't he?
Yeah,
that's not going to help.
You can see why he wants to leave that.
Man City.
They're not even going to get European football, are they? By the looks of things.
No.
Yeah, Man City's written all over that. It's funny with
Carl going to go and goal.
Probably at this point.
It's funny, isn't it, with Everton?
Doing Niall Quinn.
Start winning with fans back in the ground.
Yeah, he's definitely
Darlow
in against Fulham.
Yeah, well, it might be Gillespie. I think Darlow's out, isn't he? Because Gillespie's on the bench.
So we'll give Gillespie a run out. He probably deserves it.
Yeah.
Go on.
He's looking around. Oh, don't foul him.
Oh, come on.
He's rubbish, isn't he?
Why has he just hacked him down?
Dwight Gale, you spanner.
He's behind him and just whips him up.
Like, why just put him under pressure to force it out for a corner or something?
Oh, God, if they score from this, Jesus.
I know, well, Dubravka's not fresh on his feet, is he? So they'll probably be wanting to lump it in the box. Shelby gets done again.
Yeah, it's got to go at the end of the season. Along with Bruce, along with bloody Gale, God. They're not good enough. They're not, these players should be moved on.
Goldrick coming with a header here. Watch this.
Oh, don't say that.
Brewster.
That's your spanner from Julie.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I thought that was a leg bone. I was going to say no.
Get the cabbages up.
Come on,
Playing
Andy.
a high line here. Playing a high line.
Somebody get ahead on this. No.
Oh my God. Look at that.
Oh.
What's the time left?
There's bodies all around the place. 15 seconds.
Yeah.
15 seconds, yeah.
Look, Gale's injured himself now.
Gale's injured. Murphy's injured.
Yeah. Gale's injured, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gale's
just looking
injury,
for safe and we don't have to...
Just from the touchline, Gale's injury is he's got mud on his sock, apparently. That's what's
From 1917. 1917, the film. On Gallipoli.
I think Gale has had his worst game ever. Today.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Yeah, that's where I'd be heading out.
Yeah.
Can I ask Omar? So I noticed this on one of the games yesterday, and I don't know what you all think. Bearing in mind, no one's been in the stadium for over a year. There's only 10,000 in the actual stadium. You've waited all this time to go to a game. Why would you leave early?
Man United fans left early last night.
I know why.
Yeah, they left early last night
to avoid the
and
traffic.
Loads of them, as Steve Wraith pointed out, they were all wearing Norwich scarves.
Barnsley.
Let's be having you.
Yeah. That'll be Norwich's fan base going up
Big
by
Andy,
a few
that's what he
thousand.
does.
Handball.
Fantastic,
Big Andy. Is there some
Come on,
action?
man. Goldrick, give him out. Knock him out, Andy.
Who's got their commentary?
I know. Someone's got commentary on, lads.
There you
Big
go,
Andy.
Chris. You and Big Andy.
You know what, though?
When he moves in, when he
ball
moves in,
come up.
that's where he'd be sitting.
Chris,
Brought
if
it
you
down on
move,
his
just
chest.
if you just move to one side, Chris, and up a little bit. Oh, look. Not that close. That looks like you're doing something indecent, mate. I wouldn't do that. I'd go the other way there, pal. Just a bit of advice.
Oh.
Love that.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, well, you don't
Sunderland have lost 2-0.
Yeah.
Done.
Lost 2-0. It's over.
It's another year of
up to Lincoln.
Yeah.
Here comes Rory for that.
Oh, yeah, that was all down to Chris's lucky penny.
Big throw in from Sheffield United here. Robinson's throwing it in. Last roll of the dice by the sound of it. And who heads it out? Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll.
Carroll, yeah.
That's why he's
Like
there.
even, do you know what, Chris? When you get next season's shirt, you should just get Carroll on it just for the
I might
crack.
just get Carroll. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Over.
That's it. All over, lads.
Yeah.
We gotta win.
Boys,
We gotta win.
3 points. Yeah, that'll do.
Davy Bruce's black and white army. Go on, lads.
Okay,
Well done.
Yeah.
welcome back, Pete, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, Pete.
internet shocking. Great
Right.
win.
As it'll be 5 minutes before my game finishes, so as that's happening, let's go around the house and see who you reckon got man of the match. I didn't really see the game, to tell you the truth, with all these comments. But Martin, take us away. Who do you think got man of the match?
Yeah, look, we'll give it to Willock. 6 in 6, 3 points, another goal. Hard not to give it to Willock. Second half, I thought was poor. Very leggy through midfield. No real attacking prowess. Lots of injuries again. It'll be interesting to see how we come out the back of this now for the Fulham game. Doesn't really matter. No, not really. No fans there for us. So we lose, we lose. We win, we win. But yeah, Joe Willock. We spoke during the week, Daz. It'd be great to keep a hold of him. You'd love to see the money paid to keep him. He's just what we need. Fans love him, but again, I said, I don't want to bring a downer on it, but I can't see Big Mike spending money while the takeover and arbitration and all the other stuff is carrying on. So I think it'll be more loans. I think if we could get him on loan, great. But I think Arsenal surely have to be considering what they're going to do with him again next season, given his run of form and how he's played. But yeah, Joe Willock for me, man of the match.
Hi, Sir Martin. Kieran, your call.
Yeah, for me, man of the match, Shelby.
Right, Daz, get rid of him.
Get him off. I'll give it to Willock just because he scored. But obviously, it all depends. The big question is, are they going to sign him? Which I agree with Martin. I just don't think they're going to stump up the money for him, due to obviously what's going on in the background. So we'll probably knowing us, we'll go for the cheap option and probably go for someone with the bloody championship or someone like that. Probably.
That'll be Jim Wallock from Plymouth.
Yeah, probably.
Players doing a little walk. An end of season walk on the pitch.
I bet Bruce is married.
I don't know. I can't see. Did anyone see Bruce?
The rest of the squad are coming onto the background. Bruce is still. He's just walking down the sideline now from the dugout. He's not gone with the players.
Yeah, he's probably going for a kebab or something.
He's not even going across.
So we go to Richie's man of the match.
I agree with Mark. I think Joe Willock's not just probably man of the match today. I think he's probably been our best player for the second half of the season.
Yeah,
you know, we've got to find a way of somehow getting him back next season, whether it's on a season-long loan or if there's any way we can finance a deal to get him in permanently. He's just made such a difference in that midfield. The energy that he has, that box-to-box running, attacking the box late, and 6 and 6, youngest ever to do it. Said it all, really, doesn't it? So yeah, Willock to me, man of the match today.
Cheers, Richie. And do I have to ask Chris? It's one
Andy
man
Carroll.
for you.
Andy Carroll.
I've just spent the last 3 or 4 minutes trying to work out how I can give it to Andy Carroll. But no,
we saw you trying to do that earlier, Chris, and we don't want to do that again.
I know. No, do you know what? In all seriousness, I think you've got to give it to Joe Willock. He's been so outstanding the last few games. He really has. Not just his goals, by the way. His actual performance. He's putting 110% in. He's doing really well. I really hope we sign him. I was a little bit on the fence at the start because obviously when Jeff Hendrick scored his first goal for Newcastle, I seem to remember on Matchday Live having to calm everyone down because I was fully aware of what to expect from Jeff Hendrick. But yeah, Joe Willock has proved me wrong in a way because he's really just he's took to the club, he's took to the city by the sounds of things, and I really hope that we keep Joe Willock. So yeah, Joe Willock man of the match for me. But I would also like to say. I thought Dubravka was outstanding again today. He just brings that calmness to the back five, and I think sometimes he goes unnoticed, but he makes even the most, he makes even the most challenging of saves look easy. And I just love the way he commands his box, and I just feel so comfortable with him in between the sticks. I thought Darlow did fantastically well when he was in, but I noticed a big difference when Dubravka came back into the team, and I think he's been integral for us in the last few weeks. So Joe Willock, man of the match, with Dubravka a close second.
Sorry, Chris, just before you get to me, do you think that bit of stability at the back has come with the likes of Fernandez coming back in along with Dubravka and Dummett?
Oh, million percent, I agree, Mark. Yeah, I mean, again, Fernandez, he's one of, if not my favourite centre-back. I love Shaw, but Fernandez, in terms of all-round centre-backs, he's the best one at the club for me. And I to touch on what Pete was saying earlier, I really hope that, we do have that deal wrapped up for Fernandez. Whether or not that happens, I don't know, but I think it would be absolutely idiotic to not keep Federico Fernandez, would take over or not. I mean, imagine having someone like Federico Fernandez, even if we got all these fabulous players in and we had someone like him on the bench ready to come in as and when we need him. He typifies the phrase steady Eddie. Like, he's not the quickest, but he's so powerful, he's so commanding, he's big, he's strong, and he organises. You can see that he organises the players around him. So yeah, I totally take your point. Having the likes of Dummett and Fernandez back, really makes a big difference. And for me, I would want to keep both of those, take over or not.
Yeah.
Cheers, Chris. We'll go to you, Pete, next. You're a man of the match. It can't be Wilson, Pete. You can't pick Wilson tonight.
I'll try. No, it has to be Joe Willock. Joe Willock, man of the match for me. I would say a close second, Alan St-Maximin. The way he ghosted past players time and time again, he created absolute havoc for that Sheffield United team. And you know what? As an attacking threat, disappeared once he went off the pitch. We just weren't the same going forward.
Yeah.
In the first half or the second half, we were just relentless, attack after attack after attack, and his injury did stop that. So if he'd have carried on and maybe got a goal, I would have said Maximin for man of the match. But Willock, was it 6 in a row now, 7 for the season? Fantastic return on a short loan spell. Got to sign him up, pay the money. Get it done early, which is something we don't do, is get deals done early. We need to get that done early because the longer the summer goes on, the more opportunity other players have got, other clubs have got to come in and snip it. Worried about the amount of injuries, I've got to be honest. Players look tired, but we've had decent rest, if I'm honest. It's not like we've played 2 or 3 games in 5 days. So that worries me. But we needed that win. We got the win. over 40 points. First game back with the fans. Perfect way to end the season at St James's Park.
So is that true? I've just seen in the comments that Tottenham fans have just booed off Harry Kane.
Booed off Harry Kane, yeah.
I was just writing in the comments.
Yes,
he's
I
bigger
was
in
just
their
saying
whole
in the
club.
comments there, Kevin. It's crazy.
He's bigger in their
Absolutely
whole
crazy.
club.
How can they do that?
Well, they're doing that because they're preparing themselves. Let's put it that way. They're preparing themselves for the disappointment of losing their talisman, their main man, and that's all it is. That's all it is. He's well within his rights to say, "I want to leave to win trophies." Well within his rights. He's even more in his rights to say, "I want to stay in the Premier League," because the guy's chasing Alan Shearer's record, and if he goes to a Man City or a Man United, there's a high chance that he gets that record. So he's well in his rights to do that. And look, Tottenham are very fickle fans. They forget very, very quickly about what players and people have done for their club. So I'm not really surprised by it. The only thing I'll just add quickly is that Steve Bruce was actually with the players going round the lap of the where we saw the players come in, the staff come in from the side. Apparently Bruce was signalling to them to come and join the players, so he was with the players. So it'll be interesting to see what reaction he got going around the pitch.
That's definitely him staying next season.
Don't say that. Cheers to that, Pete. We lost Babbo. Babbo had to drop out. So if I'd known, I would have put you first, Babbo. But Donald, your thoughts on man of the match?
Well, I have to agree with the rest of my panelists. I've nicknamed him G.I. Joe Willock. We're the Toon Army, so we've got G.I. Joe Willock. And as Pete rightly said, got to get that, be it loan deal, be it outright purchase, got to get the deal done early, because with Willock, St. Maximin, what we touched on earlier, there's good chemistry that's been built up there. And for any team, for a settled team, good chemistry between players is important, because if you ain't got good chemistry, then it's out of balance. So you've got to sign him up. And I was going to say a close second, obviously, but because he made things happen, Alan St. Maximin, because he's that what I call obviously X Factor player, maverick. I mean, he's got that, you never know what he's going to do next, but he makes things happen, and every team needs that X Factor player. So yeah, that's my. That would be my, final summing up. Made hard work of that, mind. That's what I will say.
We sure did, Donald. We sure did.
Yeah,
Thanks, Donald.
so, yeah.
Aloid, your thoughts on man of the match? And please don't pick Gail.
Actually, I'm not picking. No, Gail, he losing. He didn't play much as in a starting lineup. He lose his touch. And the times he played, it was under pressure. So some of the players need time to get to their. He was good last season when we were depending on him, but with Wilson and the situation we have this season, it was difficult for him. I'm not actually picking anyone. I think it's whole teamwork. It's very hard to pick someone. You can say Joe Willock, you can say Dubravka, the defense line, the right, the left back. So it's very difficult. I think Steve Bruce just play for the score, clean sheet. So I think this is teamwork. So I'm giving everyone his. Even Andy Carroll when he get in, steps in, and at the moment we were collapsed one by one. So he give his confidence to the team. So I think it's the whole teamwork.
Cool. Cheers, Aloid. We lost someone else. And Chris A, let's go to you. Your man of the match.
All right. Since it would obviously be Willock and Dubravka, since I'm getting my second vaccine tomorrow, I'm going to give my men and women of the match to the developers of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, Johnson & Johnson, and the workers of the NHS who have rolled out and gotten a third of this country vaccinated. I don't think, a year ago when the whole world shut down and football shut down, I don't think that any of us thought that within a year of that we'd be having a vaccine rolled out and getting having the UK almost lead the world in vaccinated people. So hats off to the NHS and to the scientists behind the vaccines, and get your vaccine, get vaccinated, so that we can get back to, if not normal, a semblance of normal. And that's why we have 10,000 fans in the stands today, because of the NHS and the workers who developed the vaccine. So thanks to them. They're my man of the match.
Good show, Chris. I don't have a picture of them, I'm afraid, but yeah, we'll go with that.
Same can't be said for Ireland. Me and Daz still waiting.
And we'll be left waiting as well.
Yeah, our complete health system was hacked by ransomware, and now we don't even know what's happening.
What's going on with that? There's a new Indian variant, apparently.
Do you know what it is? Our internet with the HSE and the health system went darker than your fucking room, Kieran.
Yeah. That says something as well, doesn't it?
It's gone.
So everyone's got to say a man of the match. I think. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Just a few things coming up before we close the show. We've mentioned we've got Aloise. I just want to mention again, Aloise's show coming up on Saturday at 5:00. We spoke about it during the show, and we'll a few of us will be on that, and tune in for that. It will be a good one. Also, our own show, our Loaded Football Weekly. I think that's what
I was going to say. You okay? Remember what it's called? Can you?
Yeah, so that's coming up on Friday. We have the Drift on that show, and if you haven't, give us a watch and give us a follow on YouTube as well. Just subscribe. You can find us and just type in. If I remove my banner, you'll be able to see it a bit better. Type in Loaded HQ into YouTube. You'll find us. We're also on Loaded HQ1 on Twitter and Loaded HQ on Instagram. So, you'll find us there. Anthony, that's what I wants to say. Of course, the game is coming thick and fast with our last game of the season on Sunday against Fulham, 4:00. I'm sure there'll be an NUFC Matters show, probably kicking off at 3:30, I guess. I'm sure Steve as well will be back tomorrow and give people more details on that. I'd like to thank Martin, Kieran, Richie, Pete, Aloid, Chris A and Chris H, Donald as well, who's sitting in. Sorry, I have you sitting there. There you are, Donald, and Babu, who was on there. To Holly, who sent us the picture from the game, and to Steve, who bring up the picture of Holly again. I have it here somewhere, and Steve, who gave us the little insight into the atmosphere leading up to the start of the game. So, thanks everyone, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, well done. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Critics attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again, but it's the only way you're at.